We are live and on camera.
Hello.
So where we last left off, you guys. So, after a third attempt at infiltrating Fort Hale Course, you once again scaled the wall with the use of a grappling hook. Once on top, you decided to deal with a group of strangely sentient zombies patrolling the top of the walls by employing the use of one of the fort's ballistas mounted on top of one of the towers. You dispatched several of the zombies, then decided to investigate the fort's donjon, where you encountered what appeared to be one of the scum leaders, one of the leaders of the fishmen, who you took prisoner and interrogated, although not getting a lot of useful information out of him. You did get a little bit, discovering that him and his other scum associates had been more or less hired by Melisson Kokoro, the current caretaker of Iris Hill and Count Hazelton Lowes' confidant. You then descended down into the fort with the scum leader as prisoner. He was mercilessly executed by Aether upon encountering some strange, seemingly extra-planar being that emerged from a series of mirrors placed throughout the fort, sort of ducking in and out of this mirror land to assault you guys. You fled the fort, intending to head for, I think, the Sleepless Detective Agency to report your findings within the fort. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, sounds like a plausible thing that we could do.
I think going to see a priest might be a better option.
A priest?
Well, to, help us out so that we don't get ruined on other things. Maybe they got, or a magician.
For what? Do we have any conditions?
Well, to help us out with this thing. The sleepless buildings, sleepless agents, not going to know anything about this.
Yeah. It's very peculiar. Alright, well, I guess the best option we have at the moment is to just head there.
Yeah, it's about the size of it.
Very little else we can do.
I'd
So we're
say
heading over to Sleepless.
you continue to flee down into town, running along the muddy road, the rain splashing into your face as you move back down into Thrushmore. As you arrive at the Sleepless Agency, as usual, you knock on the front door. No answer on the first knock. You knock a second time. This time answered almost immediately, and Meg Thalion, the woman who usually greets you, opens the door.
Good evening, Meg. Is Cecilia in?
Yes, hello, my friends. Come inside. We were actually just talking about you.
Ooh. Is
I
that right?
hope only good things.
Come in, there's been a development.
Do
It certainly has.
She
Yep.
leads you inside. Despite being after hours, it looks like everyone from the agency is there, sort of gathered around Cisadia outside her office. She sees you coming in, gives you a wave. Like, just in time.
Time for what?
Come, there has been, we have received a message from Rosenport. They're sending reinforcements. We should have a detachment of militia here by the morning.
Fantastic. That sounds quite great.
Is this to secure the fort again?
Yes, so did you find anything inside at all?
Unless you count somewhat undead bodies and fish people, people emerging out of glass. I think that's what we've got for you from there.
But was there any trace of Magistrate Paget?
Yes, Josh, remind me. I feel like we found a brooch or something, or am I imagining that?
Yeah, you found his badge.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the fort kitchens.
So we found this, and I produce a badge. No body with it. It was next to a bubbling pot, which I believe they might have started consuming him from.
I see. He's
I'm saying he
surely
was
dead
cooked
then.
alive. Yes, 100%. I mean, we can find pieces of him, but it won't last or taste good. Or they might, actually. I suppose.
We did have a witness to corroborate this, but he has been dispatched, fortunately.
By a mirror, nonetheless, which was a bit strange.
A mirror.
Yes, something jumped out of the mirror, attacked us, and then went back into a reflective substance, and then came out of a different mirror. It was a very, very peculiar creature. I'm not even sure if it was a creature. In fact, it could be humanoid or something, some sort
Like
of
some
weird
kind
magic.
of apparition or something?
Yeah. Possibly something that can jump between planes. Maybe, so who knows? Who knows?
Well, that's very disturbing. We should
Yeah,
most certainly notify the militia when they arrive.
certainly.
When are they meant to arrive?
Hopefully they should be here by tomorrow night.
Oh, fantastic.
I would recommend then removing anything reflective from inside the fort as soon as they get in.
But even removing it didn't really matter. It depends how far I can jump, because we smashed that one mirror and it still managed to come out of the glass a bit. So just wondering, like, it might just be able to transport itself anywhere. And if you smash into a million pieces, then, you know, there's multiple pieces it can then come out of. God knows, and he starts looking underneath his shoe and stuff for pieces of it. We might be traveling around town on the way here. Probably should have thought about that before we left.
Yes, well, maybe if we just cover the mirrors, perhaps that will work.
Possibly, yes, certainly. Putting something over it. Yeah, that might work.
Didn't think of that, actually.
It's good.
I just
could be worth a
smashed
try.
it.
That would certainly.
But I have
Anything to stop it.
I've been discussing the situation with Iris Hill with my colleagues here this evening. I believe that when the militia arrive, they will want to take control and occupy Fort Hale course, but without some solid proof that Laos is involved with all this, it still may be up to us to locate Laos and bring him to justice.
Well, as soon as they go in there, I imagine they'll be getting attacked, and that should probably be proof enough for them, surely.
To connect Laos with the trouble at the fort?
Well, once the fort is secured and there's more person power inside, then we could possibly search it more thoroughly, finding evidence. Because if we enter it now, there's a lot of creepy coolies that around the thing. Whereas if we clear it with a number of men or women, then we have a much greater chance of finding the information without being harmed ourselves. If it is only a day away, it is worth the wait. I would say. Am I right, gentlemen and lady?
Yes, I'm in no rush to get back there.
So we've all been greatly injured. I have lost a few of my stamina, as some might say, of the battles.
Well, what kind of evidence do you think we could get? And where could...
Or what did you have in mind?
Well, look, Rosenport's militia are notoriously, shall we say, by the book. If we want to connect Laos with this, I think we may need to do some digging ourselves. I've been talking with my colleagues here tonight, and I believe that we are willing to assist you in infiltrating the manor.
This is promised.
Ooh. Just before we go on, I just got slammed with notifications. We've had a raid.
Boy.
Risengaya. Thank you for the raid, Risengaya. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello there.
Also, we had a new subscriber, Death's Kittens. Thank you for the sub. Cool fam. Thank you for the 2 months. Damn guys, thank you very much. And also a
Lost someone.
Gifted sub from Death's Kitten as well. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate this so much. But welcome. We're just running through session 13 of our Strange Aeons campaign. It's normally a Pathfinder campaign. We've been running in 5e, and actually we're switching back to Pathfinder First Edition very soon. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Who did we lose?
Beatty.
He may be resetting his microphone.
Maybe. I'm too sure. There he is. We found him.
I think that could... That's 4 gifted subs. Thanks so much, Death's Kittens. I really appreciate that. That's cool. Thank you very much. Spray back?
There's an icon there for him.
Deborah?
Beatty.
Ray.
We can carry on a little bit, I think, without him.
Yeah, okay. Before we go on, thanks. That's Kitten for the gifted subs. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Right, so where we left off, Sadia turns to you. So what do you think? If perhaps between your party and ours, we could maybe find some answers inside Iris Hill, figure out what Melisson is up to?
When were you thinking? Personally, I'd like to go tomorrow. I'll be a bit more refreshed than I am now.
You don't have to go tomorrow. If we could go quite early this morning after a rest.
Yes, that's what I mean, but I'm more than happy. So take a small rest, let me recover a little bit, and then head on out to check for any more information that we can find.
I'm happy with that plan, but I do agree with you. I definitely need a rest.
I saw you casting spells left, right, and center. I'm sure you'd like to replenish some of them back.
Yes.
I've got a few. There's slightly less than mortal wounds, but nonetheless, I would like to heal them.
All right. Well, you can feel free to rest here until the early hours.
Excellent.
She turns to the rest of the sleepless detectives. What say you all? It's been a while since we've all been out together. Shall an early hours raid on Iris Hill in the morning? They all sort of nod their heads, except for Shevin, the one that really...
That one...
the cowboy.
That old ass out, yeah. That one dick. That's fine. He can stay here and guard the whole town.
Now, listen. I know we've had our differences, Gideon,
Yes.
but
I don't
afraid,
remember any of them, but I can understand them.
I got twice as much hatred for Hazelton Lowes as I have for you. I want to see that asshole behind bars.
Right. So does that mean you are joining us? I misunderstood that a little bit.
I'm in.
Oh, fantastic! Right. Awesome. Chewy ho and all that. I'm going to go to sleep now.
Have you formulated a plan for infiltrating Iris Hill?
Well, I want to consult with you on that. This enormous hedge that Lowes has erected, seemingly overnight. There's a few approaches we could take. We could brute force the front gates. Or perhaps me and the other detectives could create some sort of diversion to draw them away, allowing you lot to enter. What do you think?
Well, we've been finding it very, very well. Climbing up the side of the walls and just going from the roof down. So, I mean, if you're willing to come for a climb, it's a valid option.
The whole estate is surrounded by a 10-foot hedge, is the problem.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about Fort Hellcourse. Right, no, the hedge won't hold our weight, so maybe it's an option to, yeah, maybe. What do you guys think? I'm stuck in the middle with the two ideas. I like the idea of going through the front door and making ourselves announced.
It's
But
it's a large volume of resistance. We could instead maybe do a covert operation.
Covert would work, however, it depends how many of us, I guess, are going in.
Well,
how many of us? How many police forces or detectives?
If the detectives and I run interference, it will just be the four of you going in.
Well, I think we could most certainly go through the front door then, if there's safety in numbers.
Yes. That's why we'll have the advantage, which is isolate them and rush them. You know. I think that's an excellent plan. I'm for the front door, kicking it down and such.
I mean,
What are your thoughts?
through the hedge, we can just as easily, burn a hole through it, but whether that alerts them or not. Problem is, if we go through the front, then we risk them, having time to prepare somewhat of a force to meet us with.
Guess it all depends about what kind of protection they have.
Well, from what we've observed, there's just these thuggish henchmen that have been brought in and replaced the rest of the staff over the last week or so.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah.
Although from what you've told us, there could be all manner of horrors on the inside if it's anything like Fort Hellcourse.
Or if worst comes to worst, we always have the option to retreat. And then maybe follow up with, the guards, the militia that's coming in to attack. There might be an option to attack afterwards with them, depending on the damage that is done. But I have confidence in us as a group.
Cecilia, have you ever been to Iris Hill before?
No, I've never been inside myself.
Do we have any, perhaps, layouts of the rooms inside the hall?
Blueprints as such.
No, we don't. Although all the staff were let go in favor of these thugs that Millicent has brought in. Perhaps we may be able to find one around town who's willing to cooperate. maybe
This could be good.
give us the lowdown on the layout.
Is there anyone you could think of offhand?
Not myself, but shouldn't be hard to find if they've been. Most of the staff lived on site. You see, if they're still in town, they'll likely be living either at the bunks in the Stain or perhaps at the Silver Wagon.
I'm happy to go to one of those inns and see if we can find anyone. It's good to get some inside information. We just, I guess, have to make sure that they're not tipped off after that as well.
Yes, discretion is definitely would be favorable in this situation. Shall I leave it with you then?
Yes, I guess for now.
Or if you like,
Best that you go.
the four of you do look like quite ragged and look like you could use a rest. Perhaps one of the others here could do the rounds.
If they can do it while we're resting, that might save us some time.
Lucky steps forward. I can do it. I'll go run by the Stain and the Silver Wagon, see if I can find anyone that got dismissed.
That would be useful. Anything to help speed us up, getting into there and putting whatever evils they're up to rest.
Right, I'll get onto it right now.
If we are going to go early in the mornings, this would be good to get done.
She grabs a coat off the rack nearby and heads out the front door.
Old mate, I was playing like gambling with and drinking with that a couple sessions ago, like in the bottom of the Silver Wagon.
Yeah.
Was one of the guys who used to work there.
No, he was a local fisherman. But Cisadia sort of bids you guys goodnight, says they'll return in the early hours of the morning to rendezvous with you guys right here, and leaves you guys to long rests.
Cool.
Fantastic.
That's what I want to go do.
My mic's working right. I'm trying to get this.
Yes,
Can
hello
hear
there.
you.
Yes.
Bit low, but I can hear you.
A bit low. How's that?
Perfect. Ah, beautifully, majestically you. Long rest. Let's do it.
Camera dead, Bray.
Fantastic.
Wi-Fi's down, so Lappy's not working. So I stole Kyle's webcam and trying to get it to work, but
Okay, cool.
it's a work in progress.
Alright, so you guys can hit the long rest.
Be ahead.
Around 4 a.m. Cisadia and the other detectives return. You guys are roused. You all convene back in the main room of the Sleepless Agency's office. Lucky steps forward. I did have a little bit of luck. I found one of the old kitchen ants being ejected from the manor. He's been living in one of the bunkhouses at the Stain. He gave me
What?
I haven't got any maps or anything, but he did give me a good rundown of what it's like inside the manor. So you got the main manor building. Next to it, you got the kitchen, separate from the manor. And then separate from that, you've got a guest bunkhouse. Apparently above a barn and a stable. There's also a small outdoor bathhouse. But he did say that there's also he only ventured under the kitchen to go to the cellar itself, but apparently the cellar opened up and connected to a whole large expansive underground facility underneath it, basement.
That's right.
Mausoleum-like kind of thing, where they keep the Hazleton the Lau's ancestors down there. He said it's quite big underneath.
Because we did exit there via an underground passage through the aqueducts. If I'm not wrong. So that is potentially an entrance we can take.
Yeah, track up the aqueducts. That could work.
Potentially.
That would be maybe rather risky to go back that way, especially if there are more creatures lurking.
But he did say that there's also other ways to get down to the basement area from inside the manor.
Well, I think the best way is moving forward towards the primary residence of the manor. That is most likely where you might find some information.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I'll
Sounds like
be
Let's do it.
going with the front door.
Right, how would you like to do this then? Shall we create a diversion, or shall we brute force the front door?
A diversion might be good, even if we just have some people directed away from it, and then, we rendezvous shortly after the diversion's created, so that we have you as backup. Ideally, before they realize what's going on.
Well, let's have a vote on it. Who would like to kick down the door?
No.
Well, the door would be the best way of getting reinforcements with us. However, if we think we can get through without, raising too much of an alarm, it should be fine if we get the diversion. I can always have Chops circle around and contact him if there is something that we need help with.
It is a good idea. But we'll finally come handy a little bit. Yes? Good. Alright, well, I guess we should do it that way. Have him flying around over the top. We breach the walls with the investigators.
Right, so you just want to brute force the front door?
Yes, why not? Fuck it.
Oh boy, it's always this way, isn't it?
Well, nobody else is coming up, but we're kicking down the doors. Let's do it.
I'm not opposed to this at all, but I will be at the back.
Yes,
I
no,
won't
you stay at the
be
back.
Kicking as such myself.
We'll come up with a plan for what we will do as a unit. Let's figure out what our plan is.
Alright, well, let's head off then.
Alright, let's do it. I'm excited to kick down this door. Find out more about our past that we don't know about.
Would you perhaps have any ballistas around?
Yes, we have a good experience with them now. We're very good. We'll well up. We could potentially steal them from that fort, but that would be different. Yes. I think we shouldn't worry, honestly. Let's do it.
Just setting up the map real quick. So you trudge through the town, through the rain and the mud.
Still raining then?
Yes, still raining.
Jesus.
And you ascend the hill up to the manor at the front. And the 10-foot high hedge towers above you. As you wander up the road towards it, in plain sight, Cisadia sort of leans over. It's like, "Are you sure this is the approach you want to take? And if you're basically going to pull down every single whatever resistance we're going to encounter inside this manor at one time."
I'm not.
It's worked in the past. We'll work again.
We can somehow. Well, what I was saying before was we can get Chops to swoop down and deliver a message if we do get into trouble. If we instead go for the diversion.
I suppose that will work too.
Okay, I think we should, perhaps maybe find a way over the hedge and then have Chops as our backup.
Chops, did you want to send Chops out to scout ahead and see if there's such a thing for us to do? If not, we can always circle back and go through the aqueduct and come out. And that way Chops can then head out to the to you guys to kick down the doors if we get in trouble.
That could be the plan. I think this would be good.
Alright, excellent. Let's do that. Tell us what your bird eyes see.
We have to stop for just a moment so I can get Chops to scout ahead. Cool. All right. I kind of like lean. I kneel down and my eyes kind of gloss over as I communicate with Chops.
The hawk doesn't have dark vision, so you can't see much. Basically, you can see 3 buildings with some like firelight flickering through the windows on the inside of the grounds. Between the darkness and the fog and the rain, that's pretty much all you can see.
There are several buildings with still flickering lights. There may be people awake in them. But not everyone should be awake.
We'll definitely have the element of surprise, even if we were to just kick down the door.
Can I identify a place which seems to be a part of the wall to scale, or try and get through, which is kind of like further away from any of the flickering light? Trying to get through where people are, not currently awake.
So he flies around. There's more or less like where there's not really. He can't really tell where it's like it's surrounded by hedge. Either way, like it's 10-foot high. It's highly thorny. It looks like it's designed to repel people.
Okay.
How burnable does it look?
It's been raining for several days. It might be a little bit hard.
But if it's dense, the in part of it might be a bit dry. At least it starts off with it.
But if we set it on fire, might take some time, which means they'll be roused a lot quicker unless we do something, now and just like kick down the door or brute force open the door or something.
We could try start a fire, a bit further up as a distraction, as well. Have distractions on multiple fronts.
For what would the plan be for getting through the hedge otherwise? There is nothing I can think of to really scale. Unless we have maybe
A ladder.
a ladder? Yeah.
But even so, standing on the hedge, we might fall through.
How like thick is the hedge?
thick.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really tell from the outside.
Well, I mean, like, Chops is circling around, so obviously it's like, you know, like how deep does it go?
Okay, looks like it's a good 5 feet thick.
Rough.
Hmm.
So we might be able to just stand on it, maybe. Get the crew to sit on it, see how much it weight will, you know.
I don't think that's gonna really do anything for us. Like, it's not gonna tell us any information.
I have a feeling the front door is our only option, unless we go through the aqueduct.
Yeah. I don't terribly mind the idea of the aqueduct, but again, if we do run into
Yeah,
a
I'm not
monster
opposed
down
to
there,
it
it's not
either.
gonna be great.
Can we can I get Chops to fly down and have a look at the opening in the ground? If there's like any sort of rope or a ladder there currently, like
It was inside the
Oh, that's right. It was inside the barn.
carriage house, which is closed.
Well, even if we do get the aqueduct route, we'd still have to break through the doors on the inside.
Then we might as well go through the front door.
I think if we're trying to get some sort of element of surprise, at least and have some sort of darkness shroud us, this might be the best.
We might not even need to break the door. We could just unlock it in some way. We haven't even had a look at the door, like the lock, to see what it's like.
Can we otherwise get a ladder to just scale over the front door without brute forcing?
Possibly. From memory, from when we last came here, because we came to the entrance last, what kind of gate are we talking about? Like, is it like 5, 10, 6 feet tall?
It was roughly 10 feet high, the gatehouse, like enough to let a carriage through. Large wooden doors.
Easily traversable, we would think, with a ladder, perhaps?
Probably even when you have rope and grappling hook, probably you don't have to find a ladder
Fair
and
enough.
drag it all the way up.
Cool.
Alright, well, I think that's probably the best option for all of us, including the investigators, if we can do that and then kick down the door of the manor.
Well, we can just open the door.
So Celia
Yes.
like steps forward after all this back and forth. She's like, "Look, why don't we leave the tactical thinking to us? We'll go create a distraction to pull the guards away from the gatehouse, and then I'm sure you can manage the 10-foot climb over the gatehouse. Yes, if you climbed into the fort."
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, it did kind of seem like we're running around in circles, didn't it?
Yes. Well, just perhaps wait nearby. You'll know when it's time.
Okay.
They skulk off into the darkness towards the west, around the hedge, and disappear into the forest. You wait nearby. Around 5 minutes later, you hear a loud smash. And some muffled shouts from inside the gatehouse, from across the road where you're hiding. Heavy footsteps on the other side of the hedge, and then it goes silent.
Well, guess that's the signal. I think we should go ahead now.
Time to start climbing, right?
Let's do it.
Alright,
Cool.
so with the grappling hook, it's not that high, so just some quick, a quick group athletics check.
Effort? Truth athletics check. Oh, I'm going to hold off on that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be me either.
No, a group one, everyone rolls it.
Get that nat 1 in there, boys.
Yeah, 11.
That's right. Heimlich has lost to go up. Just the rope has become really slick and wet in the rain. He has trouble getting up, but between the three of you, you're able to reach down and with the rope tied around him, hoist him up to the top. And with a muddy squelch, you drop off the gatehouse and into the grounds on the other side.
Excellent.
think we should go towards the main manor. Unless we can perhaps incapacitate several of the guards. If we think it's worth looking at the candlelit rooms.
Oh god.
Well, if we can avoid the guards, and it's hard to know what we really need to get in there with.
I guess the man is probably the best option. Any evidence with those two collaborating would be in the main building. So I think if we head to the main building, that's the best option. But it's also going to be the most heavily guarded and the most dense populated.
Sure.
No, so.
We should check the doors to see if any are unlocked. Otherwise, we may have difficulty getting in.
That's actually not a bad point. Alright, Gideon will head over here and try this door.
So the manor is this building here.
Alright,
Okay.
I'll take that door first. See if it's open.
Basically, like the whole area directly to the left, to the west is the manor. Up here is judging from the enormous chimney spewing forth smoke from the hearth, is the kitchen. You recognize this as most definitely the carriage house where you were kept prisoner earlier. And you assume that this one must be the guest house.
Alright, well, check the door over here.
Alright, as you are trudging across the muddy grounds, you see some flickering torchlight coming from inside the door as one of the doors begins to creak open. I need a group stealth check.
Oh god.
Yep.
Are you
boys.
sure? Yeah, sorry, gentlemen. That's a 7. 13.
That's pretty good. Only Heimlich fucked up. So, you quickly all sort of scatter. You see that the grounds themselves seem to be highly unkempt in Count Laus's absence and the absence of the staff. They seem to have just fallen into disrepair. High weeds sort of choke the grounds all around, including around the area with the well in the center of the grounds. But you all sort of scatter to all different directions, dive into the bushes and the weeds nearby. You see a pair of these Kuru thugs, these imported henchmen, trudge past you, just silently grunting, heading towards the gatehouse. Shortly after that, two of the strange, well-dressed, noble-like men, not dissimilar to the men who accosted you in town, who ran out of the mural, sort of walk past you guys towards the guest house, just conversing with each other. I'm telling you, it was just that old bat Namira just smashing another window up in the attic. It's fine, it's fine. They continue walking past and enter the guest house, leaving the path clear to the manor.
Let's go, gentlemen. Let's go.
Go quickly.
So you see two doors as you actually no, it's just you beeline for the first door, the closest one in front of you, and run inside into what appears to be some sort of meeting room, deserted and unoccupied meeting room of sorts. A large, long mahogany table with several chairs all around. A set of stairs leading up. And another door on the other side of the room. Closed at the moment.
I would like to try and peek. Is there like a keyhole or anything I can kind of like peek through?
No, it's just...
Alright, sweet. I'm gonna kind of like gesture. I'm gonna open the door like just a crack. See what I can see on the other side.
So it's dark on the other side, just lit by the torchlight. But you see, from where you're standing, it just appears to be some sort of foyer or perhaps even parlor. You spot works of art on the wall and some other strange curios.
I grab Balthus and I gesture for him to have a look into the room because he has dark vision.
Yeah, I take the lead and I'll go have a look.
You don't see anyone on the inside. You push the door open and enter the room into what appears to be a large. What you see is a large entry foyer with another large set of double doors leading back to the outside. Another door at the end of the hall. Which you see this hall clad with fine wooden paneling. Looks like almost like an oversized curio cabinet with hundreds of items of art objects on display on tables, vitrines, and on benches. Dozens of paintings and tapestries of various sizes hanging from the walls all around. Sort of gives a recording studio kind of effect, muffling all the sound in the room. Your footsteps barely make any noise with all these sort of tapestries on the wall absorbing the noise. As you sort of walk through and you glance at the various curios scattered all around, you see portraits in various artistic styles of the current count and the many counts and the other noble family to have come before him. You see marble busts.
Do we see
Yeah, go on.
anything that would be similar to any of the cityscapes that we'd seen in other images, or like anything that kind of like is a recollection to any of the dreams we've had?
You don't spot the cityscape itself, but there's some very macabre objects scattered around. Outside of the mundane things like marble busts of scholars that you see from there have plaques on them with the men's names, and you see they're from some place called the Cinco Macti School of Sciences. You see small town perspectives of Thrushmore and a half dozen large paintings of the surrounding landscape hanging there. One does sort of catch your eye. It appears to be a very early portrait of Thrushmore rather than the town as it is now. Just two very small hovels on at the top of two neighboring hills. And you see depicted on it the strange, tall, glyph carved monoliths. Not like the one you saw the one you saw outside.
Like in town.
In the park.
Yeah, the one that you saw outside in town, and the other one that you've glanced upon on one of the islands.
That's right.
Further just out past the piers. But there's a third one. And it seems to be up on the hill, on the left-hand side hill where the mansion itself currently is, although not depicted in this old portrait. Although these three monoliths seem to have been added as an afterthought.
So they look slightly fresher compared to the other paint, or?
No, it's just like there's no particular sort of attention given to them in the picture. They're just kind of like, oil paintings are just sort of rough, and there's just these three monoliths there.
Drawn on the ground.
Yeah, you see statues of dragons, giants, and strange beasts all over the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of the portrait eyes seem to follow us around the room?
No, they don't follow you around.
Ethan's very pointedly not touching anything.
You see
Staying away from it.
set on an ebony pedestal is a human skull that's been marked with elaborate carvings of geometric shapes and lines. Small garnets set in the teeth, and a thin line of silver rings in the eye sockets. Porcelain and ceramic dishes around.
Any of the insignia on the skull match any of the obelisk kind of runes?
Not that you can recognize. You do see something particularly strange, though. Another... At first, it puts you all on guard, your reach to draw weapons, as you see what appears to be another sort of nobly dressed man standing at the end of the hall. But as you guys move to draw weapons, he doesn't move in the slightest, and you see that it is in... You then assess that it appears to be some sort of mannequin or dummy or taxidermy of some strange bipedal animal. But as you get closer, it is indeed one of these men. He just seems to be in some strange suspended animation, as though he's just part of the furniture.
Which part of the room? Can you ping it?
Let's say it's down here.
Okay.
But yeah, just a strange man. He's not blinking, not breathing, just standing completely still.
Similar to how we saw the guards.
Which guards?
The guards we saw at the fort.
No.
Similar condition,
because they
or-
reacted as soon as they saw you. He just seems to be maybe a slight look of surprise on his face. Yeah,
We don't
just-
recognize this man, do we?
Roll a investigation check.
Does he have a pulse?
It does seem to be one of the men that ambushed you guys in town that jumped out of the mural.
Oh.
Balthus, as you
Interesting.
feel for a pulse, he doesn't seem to have any pulse at all.
If it's one of the men that ambushed us, he gave me like a right fucking beat down, didn't he?
Tempted to coup de grace him.
That's literally what I'm thinking.
Yep.
On 3. All of us at once. 1,
Will it even do anything?
2.
We can do
We'll
it.
find
Yeah.
out. 3.
Okay.
And he thrusts its dagger into its throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Alright, the wounds. There's no reaction. He doesn't move. He continues to be standing. But the wounds you inflicted on him begin to bleed profusely.
Right, now let's see if he falls. Does he fall?
He doesn't fall. He continues to stand there. The wounds continue to bleed profusely for a good minute or so before his body just seems to run out of blood. You see his pupils dilate heavily.
I think we should
He doesn't-
maybe
he doesn't move at all.
cut the entire head off.
Yes.
Yes,
That's a
certainly.
good idea.
Let's do that.
Gideon, get going.
Let's do it. He rolls up his sleeves and gets to work with his dagger.
I look away for this part.
No, I need the light. Come back.
Alright, there's a
I'm holding that.
There's a horrible squelching and sawing as Gideon just works his way through the man's neck with a dagger, eventually just decapitating him. The body continues to stand in place as Gideon removes the head.
What if we remove the legs? This is,
I think we may be wasting time here now.
I think you've had your
Seaman-
fun, Gideon.
I move his arms. Do they move? Like, do they get stiff in place, or do they just drop back into his hips? Like, if I
They
pulled
just-
his hands up towards me, do they stay in spot?
They don't move. As you go to pull it, his entire body just sort of topples over towards you. There's a splash as a last sort of slurp of blood falls out of his now disconnected carotid artery and just splatters across the floor.
I fall backwards under the weight and push him off me.
I collect the head from Gideon and I
Here you
move
go.
towards the window and toss it outside. Over towards, like, as far as I can towards the hedge. I assume that's the hedge over here?
Did you wipe it for fingerprints? I feel like
I
I've
feel
committed
like-
a crime now, the way it was described.
I just would like the head removed as far as possible from the body after that display.
Oh yes, no, I agree.
Do you still have your endless bag?
No, I'm hoping that we may be able to find that while we're here.
Alright, well, should we go through one of these doors? Actually, sorry, the door. I forgot that we entered this one. let's do it. Pulls up a shield, takes a frontline position, moves forward with his bloody dagger.
Alright, so you guys move over, you push the door open, revealing what appears to be Count Laus's library. The hearth inside, currently lit, although just sort of smouldering, as though it had been lit earlier in the evening, casting a flickering light across a large room lined with ceiling-high bookshelves, laden with tomes, scrolls, and stacks of paper.
So anything like opened up on the desks?
There is. So the place is in a bit of a state. There's books sort of scattered, books and papers scattered all over the place. The shelves themselves are like stuffed full and sagging under the weight of all the books. A dozen amber-colored crystal lamps also fixed to the walls, casting a low, flickering light over the room.
So amber lamps.
Amber lamps, yep. And there is a staircase on the western wall heading upwards.
I look over the tables, just skimming, kind of like looking over moving pieces of paper to see if there's anything I can see of them talking about the fort, or about us, or about the town. Anything related, and anything strange to do with other planar things, because I'm convinced there's extra planar stuff going on here.
Alright.
Investigation?
Yes, please. Alright, so you do notice a selection of books stacked in a pair of crates next to the fireplace. You rummage through them, you see several publications titled A History of the History of Versex, The Stars Are Not Among Us, an undeniable refutation of the works of the doomsaying pseudo-scholar Dr. Henry Mertmain. Among the pile of books inside the crates, most of them mundane, you do find a number of research books regarding dreams and how to manipulate them, how to trigger lucid dreaming, and
This
things
sounds very familiar.
a little more along the occult line. You notice several books reference to a place called the Dreamlands. You see there's notes and marked pages among these books indicating that Laus was researching using dreams as a further method of research.
None of this jogs my memory at all, or anything like that?
No, they do not. Although on top of one of the crates, there's you spy an envelope which you open up, an unsealed envelope containing a letter inside. With the following, it says, "It seems that the mad poet you met in your dream journey was right. The book you seek, the Necronomicon, is located in a special collection called the Mysterium in the Kandarian city of Kathir, though it is written in Necro. If you can find a way to retrieve it and bring it to me, I can certainly help you translate and research it. I look forward to seeing you again, my old friend." Signed by someone named Miaknian Mun.
Well, this at least doesn't, help with any form of innocence.
But it doesn't put...
No.
I think we should keep looking.
What was the place again that the Necronomicon is?
It's in a city called Kathir in the nation of Kadira.
Kadira.
With a Q.
Would we know how far that away that is?
Roll a knowledge. Just roll an intelligence check.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know Kadira itself is pretty far away from Ustalav.
Which is where we are.
Yeah.
Right.
And do we know Hazleton and Laos has been missing for what, like a week now? Bit more?
Yeah, probably over a
Two-
week
2
now.
weeks?
Yeah, almost 2 weeks.
Hmm. I think we should keep looking. Take note of what's down here and keep searching through the manor.
I think Fisher takes his book with it. Is there anything else that looks like a diary or anything else that looks more recent? Like nothing that's an official book?
No.
Okay. I take a quick glance at the windows again just to make sure there's nothing moving on the outside of the building.
Roll a perception check. You don't see anyone moving around outside.
Perhaps it is time to move upstairs.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Covered in blood. Pulls up a shield, knife, heads upstairs.
You ascend the stairs, coming up into a narrow hallway. From there, there is a window overlooking the grounds outside, and you have a view just over the top of the hedge. And you can see a little bit of movement down below, outside, and you see that the window at the top of the stairs. You feel cool night air sort of wafting in, the sound of the rain. A stone on the floor in front of you and shattered glass. You assume it must be the window that was recently smashed by the detectives.
The people that were walking past did mention just a shattered glass, so I guess maybe the detective's distraction didn't work?
Seems the distraction did work.
We haven't come across any guards. I think it did work, but for how
Well,
long?
those two weren't distracted by it at least.
So sorry, is it this window here or is it this window here?
This one here.
Okay.
Looking at the figures again, are they standing like the gentleman was downstairs, or are they a bit more moving?
You don't see any figures.
Oh, sorry, I thought that's what you said. Sorry, carry on.
Alright, we moved down the hallway.
Alright, so you see several doors lining the hallway. 3 on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. Which
I can't
door do you want to
see
investigate?
much. Do you mind moving me just in the hallway just so I can see what's going on? Put me at the front if you want, Josh.
I mean, we may as well go through this procedurally and go through each door as it comes, right? Just that way we don't get ambushed from behind.
With the light that's been shown, does the hallway extend past this way? Can we kind of see? Or is it like, just keep empty blackness?
Yeah, it goes on for a little bit.
Yeah, the elves can see it goes on.
Ah, thank you. Well, yes, I agree. So let's go left, then right, then whatever we have on our head afterwards.
Sure. Let's do it. So starting with this one.
Alright, so you open up the door on the left-hand side. It's a bedroom as you open it up. Sort of a strange familiarity about it for some of you as you open the door. Bedroom itself, sort of extremely, there's nothing notable about it. The bed, unmade. Someone has slept in it recently. But other than that, just it's furnished quite lavishly, like the rest of the mansion. But nothing particular standoutish about it.
Alright, we'll move into the next room. Well, they look like there are any personal effects in the room?
Roll an investigation check.
Come on, baby. Fuck. Nope, there's nothing important in here. We'll go to the next one. I move ahead to the next room.
Alright, so you continue to open the rooms on the left-hand side. You see next to it, it's just a line of bedrooms along the left-hand side of the wall with this strange familiarity about them. As you investigate the second one, you open a chest of drawers next to the bed. And you find inside 4 empty vials, as well as a note folded next to it.
Read the note.
So, sorry, notebook. You see the notebook filled with details on 4 people, which, as you read over the pages, realize it's referring to the 4 of you.
Does it not mention Orion Gosling?
Names, race, gender, height, weight, all of which matches up to the 4 of you. And then this data sort of referred to when administering the exact dose of some sleeping drug.
Oh, shit.
Which you assume once filled these 4 empty vials that accompany the notebook.
Do you think
That's what made us late.
Yep. Do you think this was related to us being sent to the asylum?
Do you think the sleeping potion might have accidentally wiped our memories as well?
Can I do some sort of alchemical check to see if I know if that's possible? From maybe there's some residue left in there and I can go.
Roll a knowledge nature.
Come on, Gideon. 16.
So you give a smell to the residue remaining inside one of the vials. You deduce that it is made from a popular concoction of herbs to induce a deep sleep. But you don't find any sort of connection to your fugue state or amnesia.
Okay.
on this particular cocktail of drugs.
This particular cocktail that was perhaps used to make us fall asleep wasn't in fact the cause for our brain. The forgetfulness. The amnesia, I guess you should say.
As
It
you
wasn't.
As you
Okay.
continue to turn the pages of the notebook, you find more. A series of lengthy notes about, you assume this has been written by Lowes, and some suspicion that he believes that Oliver Zandalis from the asylum is the key to discovering the location of some place called Neruzavan, a lost city in a place called Casmaron that supposedly holds 3 star stellae, similar to those in Thrushmore. You assume that these are the monoliths depicted in this painting, and the 2 that you've seen outside in town.
Alright.
You say it mentioned Oliver Zandalis, right?
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he just an inmate, or where he was just like not an inmate, resident at the asylum before it all went to shit, and then he took over control?
Yes, but you found evidence among the administrator's notes that Count Lowes had a particular interest in him.
Yeah. Well, we see why now. But this is in some weird person's notes about how to put us to sleep.
It seems to be Count Hazleton Lowes' notebook,
Okay.
from the way it's written. Doesn't have his name or anything. It also says that this particular the vials of cocktails were provided by this same person, this Miaknian Mun.
Alright. I suppose I should keep hold of this documentation. Clearly, if there's little else to be able to prove that the people in this manner are out against us, at least. The exact concoction needed to put us to sleep and the rest. So we should keep a hold of these notes. And to carry on, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna keep on moving through the rooms, whatever rooms we haven't searched yet.
Let's do it. So, one at the end of the hallway. Did you say?
So it just seems to be just a line of bedrooms on the left-hand side. As you open the one on the right-hand side, it opens to a large, lavish master bedroom. The hearth in the corner of the room, gently throwing flickering orange light over a very lavish and very opulent room, decorated in a pseudo-Kadiran style, with intricate patterns carved in the wood paneling, a sumptuous four-poster bed with a marionette-like canopy sitting against the eastern wall, and a large L-shaped armoire in the corner of the room. There is 2 sets of doors leading off to the south.
Anything on the desk here, or is there anything that's like drawers or anything?
So as you give the room a once over, you see that the armoire itself is disorganized and grimy. It has a collection of expensive clothing, sort of mostly in Kadiran style, with silk turbans, fur coats, and a half dozen shirts with lace trim collars and sleeves. You do find a folded piece of parchment under one of the coats as you lift it up. You see it's a permit to visit an inmate of Briarstone Asylum named Oliver Zandalis, issued by Administrator Lysandro. On the writing desk on the northern wall, you find a stack of handwritten notes. They, as you rummage through them, they seem to have been drafted by Lowls in the aftermath of his what he seems to have been cataloging his dreams when he wakes up in the morning. And they seem to be just like basically a diary of the fantastical
Dream diary.
Fantastical journeys he was going on in these. Seemingly he was lucid dreaming. In his words, he was sort of traversing another plane of existence called the Dreamlands. The last note you find mentions someone he refers to as the Mad Poet. He says that the Mad Poet told him where to find the Necronomicon. That he went into this particular dream with 4 colleagues of his as companions. The note ends with the statement that the sacrifice of their minds has put them into a fugue state, but they lived, unable to remember their lives or react to outside stimuli. He concludes by saying he's going to be turning the 4 of them over to the Warden of Briarstone Asylum, as per his agreement with her.
Wait. What? 4 people.
The warden was the one spewing out the rainbow cloud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
So. Okay.
Miakbi and Mon is most likely. Would I assume that Miakbi and Mon is most likely the Mad Poet?
No, it's the the letter you found in the library referred to the Mad Poet as someone else.
Okay.
Jeez. Which one of the rooms to the south, gentlemen? My vote is on the left one.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Yep. No, I'm happy.
Gideon will open the door.
Alright, so you open the door, revealing what appears to be a small private study.
Ooh.
Just off his master bedroom. The walls of the room lined with fine wooden panels. The furniture, including a desk sitting under a window opposite the door, with a high back chair and a couple of small bookcases packed tight with scrolls, volumes, and notebooks. As you begin to sort through these notes and tomes left behind, you see it looks like it's going to take quite some time and quite a few hours to sort through the information here.
We could gather it. Ponder over it later.
I don't want to be carrying that stuff if we have to get in a fight. We can leave it here and get later.
Is there anything that looks like it would be more recently used, like diaries or anything else on the desk?
Yeah, you find there's a notebook sitting in the corner of the desk.
That'll do.
As you quickly flick through it, you see it holds an account of Laus's interviews with Oliver Zandalis at the asylum. You also find an annotated map of Lake and Carthen and the lands to the south. And what appears to be a draft of a certain inventory for some trip.
I'm having that. All right, I pocket that book then.
Anything else is gonna have to wait. Let's go the other door.
Other door. Gideon will open the other door.
Alright, so the other door. You open up to a small sort of passageway that curls around into another staircase leading upwards, seemingly through an attic door at the top.
This is where the boss battle is. Alright, heading up there. Gideon starts climbing the stairs.
Which way does the door swing for getting into this room?
It's like a trap, and a trap door that opens upwards.
No, sorry, not for the attic. I'm talking about the room we just entered. Which way does that door swing? In towards us or in towards the bedroom?
Towards the bedroom.
What about the other door, the one into the main bedroom? Swings towards into the bedroom, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. I'm going to go back into the other room and kind of like wedge one of the chairs under the door handle, so it's more difficult to get in.
All right. Alright, so you climb the stairs into the attic, merging into a large, sprawling room in the top of the mansion. The rain particularly loud here as it beats down on the shingles above, and the wind blows it into the handful of windows on all four sides of the room. As you move deeper into the attic, and then you hear from around the corner up ahead, you see it opening. It's just one sort of giant room in the top of the mansion, and you hear sort of a gnarly, grotesque moaning coming from around the corner up ahead.
Does it sound like suffering?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a voice that's suffering. Hello? Is there someone there?
Is that you, Hazelton? Hazelton?
I look at the others.
I nod. I'm like,
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
How are you? I am Hazelton. It's very nice to see you again.
As you round the
How are
corner,
you?
you see a bed in the corner of the room. It's filthy. As the stench from this room, oddly salt-like and sea-like, the stench. And you see an old woman curled up, seemingly strapped to the bed in the corner. Just by the torchlight sort of flickering over her, she raises one arm to sort of shield her eyes.
You're not Hazelton?
Oh, you've got me. Sorry. Sorry. Gideon. Professor Gideon. Lovely to meet you.
As you get closer, you see that you recognize her as she sort of turns to face you guys
Recognize her.
from underneath. A strange old woman that you'd been seeing standing spectrally on the pier down in town in the alley.
Oh shit. That's her?
As she turns to face you, you see the veil that she's wearing over her face part. You see long, slithering tentacles sticking out from underneath.
Hello?
I'm hungry.
Right. What you eat?
Where's Hazelton?
Oh, you eat Hazelton? We'll get him for you. Just one moment.
Do you
Just
still
to
have
say-
that head? No, wait, we threw it out the window. Yes, I presume you eat man flesh, just because of your creepy demeanor. What do we do?
Who are you?
Why are you tied up here?
I said, my name is Professor Gideon.
Don't get me my fish heads.
Ah, fish heads. Okay, certainly. Who are you? Why do we keep seeing you in town?
I get the feeling you're not supposed to be here.
Oh no! We are supposed to be here. We are just making sure that you're comfortable.
Yes, sorry. Just making sure you're okay.
Roll bluff check, Heimlich.
God damn it! It's gonna be
Deception.
bad.
Deception check.
-1, baby. Oh,
Oh. Not me.
Right. I'll tell my ingrate of a son, and I'm hungry.
Oh.
very well. We will go and most certainly get that food for you.
Yes.
Excuse me, sorry, ma'am. When was the last time you were fed?
It's I don't know.
Oh, sorry to agitate. No, not to worry. We'll get your fish heads for you. No,
You want specifically fish heads? Like we can't get you something a bit nicer.
fish heads are nice. What you talking about?
Are they? Yet I've never partaken in one. I just always presumed that they wouldn't taste that nice.
Just
Is that just
saying
me?
that. Shut up, Gideon. She'll kill us if you did. Just
I
know.
mean, kill us. Her face is made of tentacles. It's like she's an octopus or something.
I start slowly backing out, and I'm like kind of like yes, I'll get the food.
Oh, fine. Yes, sure. Certainly. We'll find the kitchen and we'll get you the fish heads. How many are you ordering?
Bucket.
A bucket.
What
Right.
size bucket? 20-liter paint bucket?
You don't want a plate? So you need
Knife and
cutlery.
fork.
Yeah, you need cutlery. Perhaps napkins. We'll wander out of the room and head downstairs. Well, fire. Kill it with. Those are the words we want to use.
Well, we can set the manor on fire before we leave, if that's.
I mean,
That's
specifically
desirable.
her, but. So, that a random lady that we've seen around town is her, by the looks of it.
Well, if we really want to, we could possibly poison or maybe put in some sleeping potion into any fish heads that we acquire.
Sorry. But would we rather find some information out of her, seeing as she's kind of been following us in spectral form?
Is true? Okay. Well, if we
If
can
we
find
could-
some fish heads.
Right. Did we see a kitchen on the way in? Did anyone see it or smell it?
Up over here, so like up.
It was a separate building outside.
Yes. Well, let's go to the kitchen and get some fish heads. Then I guess.
Are we sure we just don't want to kill her?
Well, let's see if she can give us some information. And then after that, we'll see.
Or
She might give us something.
Perhaps it's best if just one of us goes and gets the fish heads. I don't know if
Oh.
it's be a bit conspicuous.
I think
don't
we
know.
could all go together, and then one person enters the kitchen. That would be okay, but wandering off alone may be dangerous.
Prudent. All right, let's do it.
Alright, so you're all heading downstairs.
Yes. Ground floor.
All right,
We
so
just
I think
go
up here was the kitchen.
So you duck back outside.
What do we see from the front? Can we see the obstruction or anything like that? Like what the investigators are doing with the guards? Can we see any of that as we exit?
No, doesn't seem to be anything going on.
Guards might be back. All right, well let's check this one.
You duck outside, cross the grounds quickly through the rain towards the kitchen. You see up ahead, there's definitely some sort of fire burning inside from the hearth. The chimney is spewing smoke into the sky. You see, the door is closed, but you see a window casting light just, over the grounds outside.
I go over to the door and try the lock. Just try the hinge. Just go, try and tap, see if it's open.
Yes, it opens without resistance.
Gideon steps forward over the threshold, opening the door. Shield up, knife, sword, dagger in hand.
As you push the door open, the scene inside, you see 4 of these strange crew thugs seem to be engaged in an act of crude culinary flair. You see them butchering some strange, unspecified meat on the bench next to the wall. You see over the other side, the other 2 of them just wildly rummaging through shelves, or just eating raw meat off the bone.
Oh my god.
As Gideon pushes the door open and steps inside, all of a sudden, there's just like a moment of just stunned confusion as the 4 of them all turn and just sort of look at Gideon for a second. And
You have fish heads.
you see within their thick heads process what's happening in front of them, and then they all sort of just drop what they're doing, pick up their axes off the floor
Oh, shit.
or benches next to them,
You ones who escaped!
and they 4 of them lunge at you.
Well,
Yeah, we're trying to figure the mother.
we need fish heads. No, okay.
Roll for initiative.
Let's do this, boys. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I was sitting on that 20. Rolled over. Now these guys, did we found out where they were from when we first turned up, didn't we? Were they
Yes.
originally from the Mwangi Expanse?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Alright guys, this is going to be fun. I like that I'm taking them all in the hallway. If I could step back a little bit so I can escape, that'd be fantastic. Just an idea.
Oh, I haven't set up the combat playlist since I made the changeover.
If everyone's got Sirenscape, I can quickly jump on.
Yeah, I'm gonna launch Sirenscape.
You should all just be able to launch your Sirenscape online player, and hopefully it should just all be linked.
Yep, you are the game master.
I am the Game Master. Game Master is me.
Alright, I am ready to
Alright.
receive your tunes of niceness.
Oh, so I'm just got to load a little bit. Here we go, come on. There we are. Alright. Where's that one that I have in mind? Bang. There we go. Has everyone got tunes going?
Tunes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Them tunes.
Fantastic. All right.
Right. One closest to the fireplace has initiative.
Shit.
With a wet squelching, he runs through what appears to be a pile of human guts on the floor in front of the bench.
Were they just eating these by hand? Sorry, the insides and the guts and stuff. They were just eating it by hand?
One of them seemed to be making some sort of attempt to Gordon Ramsay it into a meal, but...
Huh.
He rampages across the room with his axe, swinging it at Gideon.
Yeah, please no.
21 to hit. Gideon, you take 3 bludgeoning damage.
Ah, it's fine. It's really a scratch.
Balthus, it's your turn.
Alright, I will... Ooh, I'm right at the door. Would I have good line of sight for a good old...
Game's paused, by the way, Josh.
Oh.
Agonized Scorcher?
He'll go straight through Gideon.
Can't, like, sneak it past the wall? Yeah, no, that's gonna hit him.
He's right in front of you.
Could he cast it like that? Like, put his arm around my waist?
No. You're
yeah, can I, like...
You're right on the first square that it rips through.
I can't, like, Ghost Pottery scene it and then cast it in front of him beautifully.
Can't you stand on his square, like, while you cast it?
He would take an up... is he technically threatened in that square? He might take an attack of opportunity.
Against what?
It's hard, but he'd get, like, half cover.
No, it's just, like...
Easiest, yeah.
Stepping forward to cast, and they're just, like, they'll be taking the piss.
Alright, well, I'll, instead of doing that then, I will... Because I can, I will use 3 sorcery points, I think.
3?
Yep. I think that's what it takes. No, sorry, only 2. And I'm going to do a twinned spell and a Tides of Chaos, so I get the advantage. And I will be doing a level 2 Chaos Bolt on 2 of them.
Alright.
I'm going to do advantage on the second one.
Okay. Who's the first one targeting?
It is targeting the one that's I've got clearest line of sight on, so...
Okay, that'll be that one. That one missed, so... Who's the second one targeting?
I'll do that one.
Alright.
Which one was with advantage? First or second?
The second one.
Oh, that's rough. Both of them just like with Gideon standing in the way. One fistful of force, one fistful of acid. Both of them just sort of streak through the room, just making a loud sonic boom and a splash of acid across the floor and walls. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Roll a d20 for me, Balthus.
Oh no. Just don't roll a 1. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course I wouldn't roll a 1 on that. I rolled a 1 to hit.
Alright. This one runs right up to Gideon, gets up in his grill and swings its very large axe. A 7 to hit. Gideon, clumsy and his hands slick with freshly butchered blood. He misses his attack.
I have to admit, I love the idea of Gideon just... Like, he's not skilled at all with his shield or his sword trying to dodge any of these attacks. I like the idea that he's just, like, stumbling around and just accidentally catching these blows on his shield.
He gets a second attack. And he gets advantage if he has an ally within 5 feet of the creature. Oh, okay.
Alright, well, I'm less happy now.
He's going to make his second attack at advantage. A 17 to hit, which I think is not high enough to hit Gideon. Gideon, you parry this one off with your shield. Backing into the corner.
I've got this, gentlemen. Don't you worry.
The other one sort of takes a step forward. Sort of a panicked, confused look about what's happening in this tight melee in the corner. Runs forward into this spot here. Makes 2 attacks at advantage. both of them, Gideon just forming a bulwark between the three enemies and his allies. Both of the blows bouncing off the shield. Gideon, it's your turn.
Fantastic. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire right here so that I hit all these guys. Oh, is there a way? Fairy Fire, hold up a sec.
It's a 20-foot radius?
20 foot. I want to be able to do it so that I don't hit myself. 20 feet. It'll be 10 feet then, wouldn't it?
Is it 20-foot radius or a 20-foot square?
It is a... Hold on, you know what? I'll send it through.
Yeah, pinging it.
Bloody... Here we go. I've cast it now.
20-foot cube. So yeah, it's a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
So basically 4x4 cube.
I don't think it's going to be possible for me to get...
You have to miss one of them.
Yeah,
okay, I'm going to miss the one most north of me. So this bad boy here.
Right.
I'm going to go for the 1, 2, 3 here.
Alright, they roll 3 dexterity saving throws.
Dexterity saving throws.
1 pass. 2 passes.
Oh, for fuck's
3
sake.
passes.
Well, everything's covered in beautiful glitter.
The room explodes in
Well,
a brilliant purple light.
I made everything fabulous. Alright, well, that's really the end of my turn, because if I try and leave, I'm going to take 3 attacks of opportunity, so I'm going to wait here, and as soon as I got the high AC. No,
Really,
no,
with
wait,
the,
gentlemen, I'll try again.
The flickering pink hue on these guts scattered all around the room. It's like a scene from Mandy.
Yeah.
Aoife, it's your turn.
Yes. All right. I'm just gonna move around to here, I think. Take a step back. And
What did you
I'm
get?
going to fire a shot through the window. At this one here.
Alright.
With, let's do this first. Boo. There.
Alright. That is a hit, minus the Colossus Slayer damage.
Yeah.
Is 22. Who are you targeting?
This one,
Huh?
the closest to the window, yeah.
Alright. A big 22. Your arrow pierces the window. It shatters and it then lodges into the Kuru's back. He sort of howls in pain. He's like, choking a little bit as the arrow pierces his lung. Anything else, Aoife?
That's it.
Heimlich, it's your turn.
Target the same one with a firebolt.
That is a miss. Trying hard not to hit your allies, your firebolt streaks into the room and then washes over the roof.
How many times have I told you? Get down!
The fourth one, not able to engage in the melee, sees the window smash and the arrow come through. Roar! He runs and hurls himself out the window, sort of shattering the last remaining bits of glass, landing in a heap and then charging at Aoife with his axe.
I like how his name is Apologelic.
Aoife, you're hit with a big 23. You take 8 slashing damage. Oh, he gets a second attack.
Oh, dick.
Sidestep his second wide swing with his axe. End of the end of the round. Have I put on auto reroll? Yes. Nice. Alright. Round 2. Now the one directly north with the arrow lodged in his back has initiative. He makes 2 angry swings at Gideon.
No.
A 19 to hit, followed by a 23
Is that
hit.
with advantage?
Yeah, with advantage.
Fuck.
Yeah. You take 6 damage, followed by 7 damage, all slashing.
That's
13 total.
If it was piercing,
It's your turn.
Alright, I'm going to drop me bow. Pull out me sword. And is drawing my sword an action at all? No.
Nah, it's just like part of movement. That's fine.
But to draw not an extra one, isn't it?
Yeah, you can, it's just you can only draw one at a time.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna Hunter's Mark this fella.
Alright.
Oh boy, don't know why that damage cast. And then I'm going to stab him with my sword. Taking off the heavy damage.
Very lightly armored, just with some fur and cloth wrapped around him. You have hit him.
Oof. Has he been damaged yet?
He has not been damaged yet, so 10 damage.
I got the Colossus, yeah. It's not asking me if I want to roll the Colossus Slayer thing in again. It used to come up with the text box. Dialogue
really?
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
interesting.
There may be an option to switch the query on and off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look.
Cool. Do you just get 1 attack? Oh yeah, you're level 4. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, 1. Yeah.
Alright, this one here makes 2 broad axe swings at Gideon.
Yes.
An 18 to hit, followed by a 19 to hit. You take a total of 10 slashing damage, 4, then 6. And then it's your turn.
Taking deep breaths now because he's taken a few bad hits. He's going to go for a swipe for the gentleman at the front with his dagger. Now, I believe as an artificer I get a plus. I'm just wondering why my crossbow, which uses my dex, is doing +5. My dagger was doing +4. Is that probably because it's going off my?
Don't you
it wouldn't
have
be going
your
off my strength.
infusion on your crossbow?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely forgot. Thank you. Yeah. Take that, fiend.
A 7 to hit. He,
Does that hit?
You, as wounded, wheezing, you take a lazy stab at him and miss.
I'll try my best next time. Puts his shield up and tries to hunker down behind it.
Malthus, is your turn.
I think I'll try to do something that I did before, hopefully just more successfully. So I'll spend my last 2 sorcery points and then do the same thing.
Alright.
Just with, actually no, you made me roll on the table, so I will use Tides of Chaos again.
The top 2 guys. I didn't make you
yeah.
roll straight on the table though, so it wasn't the Tides of Chaos.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is true. Alright, well that's one of them. Yeah, type of damage. And then another one.
Well, there's a miss at the first guy.
My second one hasn't popped up yet. Yeah, there we go.
There's a hit on the second one for 13 damage, lightning damage, as you Palpatine a bolt of lightning over Gideon's head. It hits the one with an arrow lodged in his back. He sort of convulses for a little bit and then drops to the floor.
Perfect.
We're gonna do a Tides of Chaos roll. Roll on this. Roll straight at roller. Oh, don't forget, I've got it on. I've got it on.
Oh yeah.
On.
Well,
Sorry. What's
better roll table?
do a roll on the table because I do want to see what the 9 would have been, but do a roll on the table. I reckon. Better roll table items.
There we go.
No.
So if you go to the roll table tab, and then
I
it
got
should
it.
be just wild magic search. You cast. Oh man.
What would 9 have been? I'm very curious.
Apologies, I'm a bit nervous.
Pretty
Obviously.
sure 9 is.
Last magic spell at 5th level spell.
Oh,
Sorry, what was 9?
cast magic missile as a 5th level spell.
Oh fuck! All
That's
right.
one. I'm pretty sure it's 7 and 8 is cast fireball centered on yourself.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Right, so
I'm happy with
Balthus,
Greece.
excited about the palpitating is just done. Begins to
Ferment.
sweat profusely. Only it's not perspiration coming out of his pores. It's lard. It's greasy lard just oozing out of Balthus's every pore and onto the floor. I think grease is 20 foot. Let me.
I have Grease as a spell. I can.
Yeah, ping it in there for me.
Manage spells. Actually, no, I can't ping it. Sorry, I don't have it remembered today, but I can look through my known spells.
That's alright. I can bring it up.
Grease. Why isn't this in alphabetical order? It just is random. There it is. Grease. Slick grease covers the ground in a 10-foot square centered on a point within range. At its turn, it turns into difficult terrain for the duration. So I guess it's on him.
I will roll. Well, it has to be on a point, so I'm going to roll a d4 to see what point it lands on. It is the one right here. So I need. So Balthus, Gideon, and the thug inside the door will make dexterity saving throws. Or fall prone.
Sorry, was that me as well?
Yes.
Why isn't it working? How does the 12 go?
What's your spell DC, Balthus?
It is. Where is my spell DC?
Maybe just at the top of the spells column.
That's 13.
13. Gideon and the crew both fall prone.
Falls over prone. Fucker.
Balthus, you remain standing, your shoes slipping around in your own lard perspiration. You do get your Tides of Chaos back. So that's a plus.
How does he get it back? Is that something that you roll?
It's so if I can just make him automatically roll on that table and he gets his Tides of Chaos back. Like his Tides of Chaos feature.
Yeah, I like that. It's a nice way to be able to recover it.
Meanwhile, outside, Afar, the Kuru makes 2 slashes. A natural 1 on his first one. 21 to hit on his second. You take 8 slashing damage.
Oof.
Meanwhile, the one inside, he is prone. He stands back up. And takes 2 cruel swings at a downed Gideon.
No, what does prone do for me?
He would have advantage against you, but he already had it, so it doesn't matter.
Go double advantage round.
Oh boy, he hits you with the first one for 5 slashing damage. He then hits you with a critical hit for 11 slashing damage for a total of 16.
That's 16 total?
Yeah.
I am down and bleeding.
Heimlich, it's your turn.
Well, I guess then I cast Healing Word on Gideon, seeing he's fallen to the ground.
Right, now I'm on 3.
You're in 6.
6. What? Mouthful of lard. Oh, it tastes like Balthus's pocket.
And what else? Heimlich.
Then I'm going to move into direct flanking combat to assist.
Alright. You still have your action. Healing Word as a bonus.
Sweet. I am going to dagger this boy. Oh wait, I can advantage that, right?
Yeah, you've hit.
That's still a hit,
Roll
but
again.
I'll
See
see
if it's
if-
crit.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yes,
Roll the damage. Alright, 6 damage as you creep up behind him and shank him. He squeals in pain. Round 3. Aoife, you have initiative.
Again. Alright, I'm gonna now pulling my dagger from its sheath at my belt. I'm gonna take 2 slashes at this dude, short sword and dagger.
Advantage, Matt. Fuck
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh, is it advantage, is it?
Yeah, I'm flanking.
Sure is.
I'll take advantage on that dagger. Well, I'll see what the
Roll the other
short
one
sword-
as well in case
yeah.
it's a crit. Alright, what we got? Short sword.
So it's
Short sword is a hit for 17 damage. Dagger is a hit for 19 damage.
oof.
Aoife just rips this guy to shreds. He just turns around, an opening as he's shanked by Heimlich, and Aoife seizes the opportunity, lunges on him with her short sword and dagger, and makes short work of him. He falls
Shouldn't have
to the
turned your
ground
back
in ribbons.
on me, you hairy motherfucker.
Meanwhile, inside, the two Kuru gather around Gideon and just continue hacking just downwards at him with his with their axes while he's in his prone position.
Fantastic. Just holding my shield above my head. Just no.
First one is a miss. You successfully hold your shield up in the way. Just this loud clanging
Just
as
becoming-
this enormous axe.
just becoming conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? Oh shit.
The second
Yeah.
one missing 2. Heimlich, it's your turn.
I cast a fire bolt through the window at this. He's not injured, is he?
No, I have not hurt any of these guys.
Wait. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Massive 3 damage.
Killed.
That is a
Huge.
hit for 3 damage. Alright, the other one continues to hack downwards. So they're seeing Heimlich as a more of a threat after getting stung by this little fireball thrown through the window. He steps over, lashes out through the window with 2 swinging axe attacks. The first one misses, hits the windowsill. The second one finds its mark. You take 5 slashing damage. Heimlich. Malthus, it's your turn.
Alright. I will. Well, I don't have any more sorcery points, but I still have spell slots. So, without trying to ruin Gideon in front of me, I'm going to do another Chaos Bolt. And I'll do it at the one directly in front.
That is a natural 1.
How do you even
It's a roll
see
on the
that?
chart. That has to be a roll on the
If
chart.
Gideon wasn't downed, he would be in, like, prone. He'd be in big trouble right now. But, yeah, roll D20 for me on that one. Woo, an 8. It stopped on the 20 for a second there.
Yeah.
Alright, Gideon, is your turn.
Gideon's going to try and is going to stand up and stab the one in front of him and go, "Oh no, you don't!" He's trying to attack his friend.
Alright,
Ah!
that is a hit. Roll for damage.
Take that. 4.
Or slashing damage, piercing damage.
Meanwhile, bleeding from every orifice. You know.
Top of the round, Heimlich, you have initiative.
I told the dead. Target missing. Yes. Let's go on this boy.
A natural 20 on his wisdom saving throw.
He's not that.
No dead is told. Gideon, it's your turn again.
Gideon will do the same. Stab the man. Yes.
That is a hit. Roll damage.
Yes.
Three piercing damage.
Takes time, but I get it done in the end.
Malthus.
3 piercing damage. Oh.
Slowly but surely, you know, the tortoise wins the race, all that stuff. It's
Well,
bleeding.
I'm done first level spell slots, so let's move on. Second level spell slots, so let's move on to first. Maybe they hit better.
We tried third.
Haha, I wish I had that.
That is a hit for 13 thunder damage. Balthasar claps his hands together. There's a loud boom that sails past Gideon and then washes over the Kuru. Sort of holds his hand up to his ears. Oh, you see blood running out of his ear canal and streaking down his neck. Aether, you're up.
Alright. Aether's feeling the adrenaline's like pumping and the blood's rushing in her ears, and she's like, you know, kind of excited for the fight, so she's getting a little bit flamboyant. I'm gonna see if I can do a run through the window like the other guy that did, and leap through the window. And on the way, I want to stab this guy with my short sword, and as I come up, I want to stab this guy with my dagger as I'm rolling through.
Alright, roll a hit.
Yeah.
Alright, that is a hit. 15 damage on the first guy. Cleaving straight into his neck and turning him into a quasi Pez dispenser as you sail by. He drops to the floor. You then combat roll across the blood-stained wood into the second one for another hit for 11 damage, plunging your dagger into his side.
Quasi Pez dispenser.
Fantastic imagery.
So good. Oh.
He turns back. No advantage anymore with his allies down, and makes 2 broad swipes at Aether as he fights to the death. Aether, you take 6 bludgeoning damage from his first attack and then duck under the second slash. End of the round. Round 5. Aether, you have initiative.
Ooh. Yeah, let's finish this quick. Just after ducking under that second kind of attack, just gonna hamstring him with the dagger, and then driving the short sword straight up into the chest.
I was gonna say you should step there and get advantage.
There's a hit, followed by a hit for a total of 30 damage.
Holy! Don't even worry. Don't even worry about trying to get flanking. Nah. Gideon stands up after this, just clearly covered in wounds and blood seeping out of his armor. He's just, oh, good show.
You're right there, love. You look a bit hurt.
I'm getting the hang of this whole combat frontline thing.
It's not the most fun thing in the world, is it?
Yes, but no. To tell you the truth, I don't know how people do it. Like, you see those gentlemen who stand on the front line and take all these hits. You know, I'm gonna have to sit down over here.
I would like to gather the body of the one outside and drag it into the kitchen, if that's alright.
Okay.
And we'll gesture to Heimlich to help me, or if he's still outside.
Yep. Drag it in.
Oh, give me a second.
This vile creature stinks.
Is there also a shutter on this window?
There is, yes.
I'd like to try and like scrape the glass back into the bush to make it unobtrusive and shutter the window down as well.
Alright.
Oh, well, that was a little bit more entertaining than I thought getting fish heads would be, so... Yeah.
I start rummaging through looking for fish heads.
bit. There.
Can we smell them?
No, yeah, the place like stinks, but you don't smell anything vaguely fishy. It just seems to be freshly butchered at first glance. What seems to be most definitely human, and horse. Also,
And
there appears to be vague remains of an entire horse has been slaughtered in the kitchen.
Do you think
Do
she'll be
you
okay
think-
with that?
Is that thing for the equine?
We could say it's seahorse.
Ah,
It might be okay. We'll just throw some salt on it. Just cut off its head.
that'll work. Yeah, I think she'd fall for that. She looks pretty senile.
Yes. This is a big fish. We'll tell her it's tuna. Yes. Right,
Tuna.
do you guys mind holding it? I'm a bit worse for wear at the moment. If I'm honest, but can we have a rest while you guys sort that out, and I'll patch up my wounds a little bit.
These stairs
I'm
go
asking if we can
upstairs,
take a
Josh?
short rest if possible.
Yeah.
In real life? Or
No.
oh, sorry,
This.
right. Yeah.
Because I'm currently at 6 out of 38, so I would like to take a short rest and heal, if possible. Take 10 minutes before we move anywhere else.
It's
That's possible,
short rest
gentlemen.
an hour.
I
I
don't
do
know.
have one potion
I
of
don't think we
healing.
got time. We really don't. I don't want to use up
I-
all my magic's just on healing, and I don't want you to use yours up either. Let me just.
I cast. I passed him a potion of healing.
Oh,
It's my only one.
wonderful. Thank you. Roll that for me if you can. I trust you. I said I trusted you.
It's fine. One of them was a bad one.
Well, it did double my current. I guess if you could put a number on it, hit points. As you could call them, playing the accountants and mortgages or whatever it is.
Where do these stairs lead off to, Josh?
The stairs seem to lead up to up above. This self-contained building has an upper story.
I'm gonna assume there's nothing up there, considering that nothing came, down in the ruckus. So I'm just gonna freely go up and explore, see what's up there.
I'll go with you just because I don't really need to rest at the moment.
I'll be fine. I'm coming. Don't worry. I'm just. Gideon will kind of like move himself over to the front and raise his shield as everyone starts going upstairs, mildly limping.
Doesn't he always have a mild limp?
It's just a mild one. Yeah, but this is the other leg, so it's kind of like he just
Oh, right.
walks in crouches and then walks in crouches. As it works. You know.
Yeah.
He's also now
He's
got
just
a
a little bit
hunchback.
wobbly.
Yeah. He's not built for this. He's like 27, and he clearly is like 40 at this point because of all
I
the
felt
injuries
that
he's
on a
had.
spiritual level.
Yeah, me too. Because I've now changed jobs. I've put on weight for the first time, and it's.
For the first time.
Well, yeah, I've never been able to put on weight before. The last time I was able to put on weight is when I lived in India, and that's when I was eating 5 bowls of rice and dal a day to try and get fat.
I was gonna
As
say you were
you
able to
wander
put
up the
weight on.
stairs,
Anyway.
Sorry.
You emerge into what seems to be a large servants' quarters dormitory. You see 8 beds lining the walls with a few chairs in a semicircle around a large fireplace, currently smoldering with a light flame. Your
Is there
attention
anything
is
in the-
caught by loud snoring. You see that there appears to be 2 Huru thugs asleep in the beds.
Gideon will turn around and go, shh, shh, shh. Who else here has seen Lord of the Rings?
No
The Fellowship of the Ring.
talking about, but I'm about
Where
to
they
go
will
kill
stand
these 2
over
crew.
the spirit. Can we
If it's just gonna walk over while Gideon's like spluttering over explaining about Lord of the Rings, she's gonna walk
Yes.
over to one of them and just hand quickly on the mouth and slit the throat.
Yeah, I want to do the kind of the same to the other. As soon as I see Aphid just approach, I'll go to the other one and try to do the same thing.
I wanted to do it. Fine. As soon as I hear the gurgling and splashing, if it succeeds, I'll just start rummaging through that stuff. Shh.
Okay, since they are helpless, AFO roll an automatic critical hit. Which you
Can I do that?
You can force it in the if you go to
there we
the
go.
menu. Yeah. What is that? A total of 24 damage. And Balthus, do the same.
Okay. My attack. Oh, I accidentally pressed the wrong thing for damage, so. But not damage.
I just love the difference in amount of text between Balthus dagger attack and Eva attack. Oh, one's got like fucking 14 things.
Oh, it's minus Colossus Slayer though, 'cause he's not wounded.
Ah, yeah, it is. So -8. Sorry. Oh, damn. I rolled very low for all the other damages, except the Colossus Slayer damage. So it's just 11, Josh, not 13. Not just take 13 off the bottom one number.
Balthus,
You mean-
you need to crit.
Yeah.
You can do that in D&D Beyond. So click on in the Beyond 20 thing.
Oh no, that just rolled it with advantage. I'm not sure how to
No,
roll
so-
it.
So if you
So let's.
D&D Beyond. Click on the Beyond 20 little icon, and then it's like the 5th one from the top says force critical hits. Click that.
I'm not seeing that.
In the
so
extension.
the D&D Beyond
In the
extension.
yeah.
Ah.
The big red dice.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are
I'm on that. It just says I see the type of roll, but I can't see one that says.
So like three,
Force
no,
critical hits?
three down below it says force critical hits with a button.
Yeah, got it. That was with force crits on.
No, that's just. No, you got to roll the deck. You actually got to roll. Click on the
Oh yeah, you didn't. You got to do
gotta
like
click
a
on
proper
the
attack roll
actual-
still.
So you got to click on the 2 dagger. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. 8
I
damage.
actually crit on that too. Oh, that's obviously the roll.
Alright. As Balthus and Aoife dispatch simultaneously dispatch these two sleeping Kuru. They sort of like they sort of gurgle, muffled gurgle as their necks are opened by their blades. And they just sort of like convulse in the bed for a brief moment and then go limp.
I guess we search the room, see what they had around.
There doesn't seem to be much in there. The place has been relatively trashed by these Kuru occupants, but it seems like where they've all been taking up residence since they've been hired.
Any fish heads?
No fish heads.
Shit. I feel like that older woman's going to be disappointed. We should check the other building in case there's some fish.
I vote we just go kill the older woman as well.
But she's been stalking us, so at least we keep seeing her in town. She's going to be something significant, I would say, at least. Especially if she can project her image out of herself. You know, out of where she is currently. It would be worth, at least questioning her. Maybe
Well,
she'll
it just
accept some other
makes
sort
me
of food.
think- Makes me think that she's just playing with us, right? Because, like, if she knows who we are and she's seen us before, why would she just send us off to get fish heads?
I
Or
think
whatever?
I think we were going to try and give her fish heads so that she would, give us some answers to our question.
Oh no, yeah, I get it, but it's like, if she knows who we are, like, why the whole act? I reckon she's just insane. And maybe the images that we see of her are like projections of her subconscious or something. I don't know, that sounds... I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't even know what a subconscious is.
Well,
but talking to a doctor, so,
you're quite accurate in what you're saying. It could be she just be subconsciously projecting her own image over town just because she's either suffering or boredom. But,
or she's like a horror or something, like insane.
Yeah, that too. Could be just being a bitch, Still, there's plenty more to explore. We should carry on, I guess. If we find fish heads on the way, then we can always return with them. And if not, there's always that horse head. We have that secondary plan of a seahorse.
Yeah, well, hopefully it does not come to that.
Also, don't just look for fish heads. Full fishes, we can just use them as well, I guess. Yes, he starts wandering over to the door as he realizes he's just mumbling to himself at this point. Nobody tells me nothing. I guess we head for this building.
That's a stables, isn't it?
Is that a stable? There's a fish there.
As you wander back downstairs, you do notice that there does seem to be a trapdoor in the corner of the room.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a trapdoor, if it was, yeah. I was gonna ask.
Maybe there's fish heads. I'll rip it open and sniff.
Doesn't smell like fish heads.
Dang. Slam it shut and walk out. No. What do I see down there when I rip it open?
So it appears to be down below. As you open it up, the air that wafts out of it sort of mists up. You feel a bitter cold emanate up from the room below. It appears to be the ice cellar for the kitchen.
I stick my head inside and have a look.
You spot down underneath many blocks of hazy ice and wooden crates of various sizes stacked near the walls. You do see there is a door down there over on the southern wall.
If no one else goes down, Aoife's gonna drop down.
Apologies, my girlfriend walked in with a very large straw drinking directly out of a wine bottle. It was a little bit distracting. Right, well I move towards the crates because I would like to try and open some of these up.
Alright, as you open up a few of the crates, they just seem to be filled with foodstuffs. Venison, chunks of venison wrapped in waxed paper. And some cheeses and some other objects kept down here to prevent them from going off, like a big freezer.
But no fish.
No
Oh, no
fish.
fish. Damn it. Alright, I grab a pocket
What's
full
even
of
the
venison.
point of having an ice box?
She might be okay with venison. I'll just put venison in my pockets. We'll see how she goes with it.
I'm gonna
The,
cross to the door.
The map as well that I'm currently seeing is different to the one on Twitch at the moment.
I see the place where we killed that sleeping creature.
Yeah. We're in the aqueducts connection area.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
How did we
Yeah,
get
so-
down here?
Yeah, I've left the wrong. There we go.
Oh, there we are.
Just next door. There we
Oh, there's
go.
a door. Gentlemen. Didn't see that before. Maybe there's fish heads there. Let me go first.
It appears to be locked.
Give me a second. I can't move. I can't move. I've been frozen to the floor. Nope, there I am. Hello. I wanna go south. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna move over to the door and try and pickaxe the lock, if there is a lock.
There is. Roll
Oh,
a.
Don't. Scott, why did you do it?
Do what?
I thought they may have been fixed.
Oh, is it still doing that?
Is that a dex check or a dex saving throw you want me to do?
That'd be a dex check with
Dex check
proficiency.
+2?
Wow, he's
I'd
gone
do it.
proper wild.
So 17.
17.
Good.
Must have been some of the fish heads we ate before.
Told you we should have saved them.
Alright, Gideon gets down on his knee and fiddles around, pulls out his thieves' tools. Fiddles around
Fiddling around on my knees.
with the door for a minute or two
Yeah.
before there's finally a click. You hear the lock open.
Fantastic. Tally ho! And opens the door. I like how my character has slowly but surely become a 17th century sergeant in the army. Even though it's meant to be like, not so much of that. I've just slowly but surely adopted that mannerism. Anyway, we'll head forwards. I can't.
Game's paused.
Yes, sorry. I just noticed that. I will head forwards. Hurrah! Balthus, how'd you go through? Balthus, how'd you go through the wall like that?
Mage
This
secret.
does not look like it is used for storing ice, does it, Josh?
Where you are now?
Yeah.
No, it seems you've seems that the door was perhaps locked, so the servants didn't have easy access to the rest of the basement. But as you move down the hallway,
Maybe fish heads.
just one sec.
That's right.
You move into what appears to be some sort of underground storage room, furnished with two large wooden shelving units on the west and east walls, holding many chests, caskets, and several loose objects. In the middle of the floor, strangely, there's a large, empty wooden coffin.
I don't like that.
Neither. I'm not particularly a fan of the once dead. But not anymore. I mean, potentially they never died. Could be a vampire or something similar.
So if we could
Perhaps.
take a quick peek and then maybe put something on top to keep it in if it's alive.
Yes. Well, if we put a door on it.
I said it's open. It's open and empty.
Oh,
Well, I guess we just carry on. Is it like a grandiose kind of coffin, or it just seems like stock standard,
It's just like, yeah, wooden, like
no
hardwood, featureless.
pine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, featureless.
It seems like this isn't too fancy. I think they just dug this up from a grave, reanimated the body, and then allowed it to walk these halls.
Oh, they just did that, did they?
Yeah. It's basically necromancy. It's, it's just pretty simple to do if you know how, or if you have the magical intel to know how to do. Brain only stops, feelings and emotions and stuff like that. The rest of the body you can fuel through magic, arcana, and alchemical components. But it's just like people, yeah. Like the gentlemen and ladies, I presume we killed up inside the castle, or the fort, should I say? It'd very similar. I presume that this might be where they found the corpses to reanimate the bodies. It's fantastic. We don't have to pay them. They don't have work benefits, no sick leave. They were already sick and working and happy to do so.
Right? So it's some kind of
yes, the unions argument. The unions would be very upset if they found out this was going on.
Right.
We should consider telling them. We could even tell the undead servants themselves, and maybe they would unionize, but unions. What have they ever done for people? Okay, anyway, should we go down this path?
Doesn't say, we don't hear any signs or see signs of recent passage of people?
No. I mean, nothing obvious.
It's a basement, there's always people coming through here.
Yeah, exactly. As you examine the corridor leading to the east, you see that it leads down into a large circular room with what appears to be a well in the center of the room. And to the south, the hallway just extends further into other rooms.
Gideon would like to take the lead and go that way, to start off with.
Alright. As you approach...
Oh.
Inside the room...
Well.
It goes down into the floor, but doesn't connect upwards to the one that you saw outside on the ground, so it must be separate from it. You see a bucket sits beside a block and tackle attached to a wooden frame near the wall of the round chamber.
Gideon will stick his head over and look down.
By the torchlight, you see the surface of the water just glinting in the light, roughly 10 feet below.
Do you think the fishmen would be coming up from here?
Does it look like people have been crawling out of it? Like,
you don't see any signs of people coming out of it, not like the one in Fort Hale, of course.
Don't be absurd. No, I mean, no, it's a possibility. Anywhere there's water, fish people could come out. You did see them coming out of the fort. I think saw them coming out there. I can't remember. Maybe I was imagining. I could have dreamt it for all I know. But it's potential. Waters as a fickle force and grow strange things like that. Come out of it. So anyway, I think we should go to the south now. Yes. No.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Right. Yeah. All right. Gideon will hike up his shield, limp on both legs down to the next, to the hallway leading to the south.
Why do I get a bad feeling about this?
You always get a bad feeling about things.
A really bad feeling.
Well, we haven't found any fish heads yet.
Yes, well, that's what I'm after. Ah, there's a big door. Shall we go open it? Gideon walks towards the big door.
Aether's not going to stop you from opening it.
So the room you've emerged into, the walls almost completely lined with tapestries hanging down.
Oh, wait, so these things are tapestries, not pipes?
Yeah, no, they're tapestries.
Can I do a check on them? Maybe history, religion.
Just give me
See if there's any cultural significance.
So the walls are clad with all the tapestries all seem to be the sickly yellow color. The east wall is a tapestry that's been defaced with some strange eldritch symbol. Roll a Arcana check, Gideon.
Oh.
Natural 20, 25.
So you recognize the symbol as the yellow sign.
The yellow sign.
A eldritch symbol of a very hedonistic cult known as the cult of Hestur.
Hestur. I'll repeat this to the rest of them. Do I know what this cult is involved with?
You don't know much more about it.
Maybe this is something I recognize it. I don't know many more details about it. But they're not to be trifled with, but we're trifling with them, so we can do some research when we get back. Maybe the investigators or someone in town has some books or something that we can read. Examine. He walks away from the tapestries and heads towards this door. Tries.
You see, it's a large set of double wooden doors with a flickering light coming between the cracks from the other side, the room on the other side.
Grabs both handles in his hands and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, you ready?"
No.
All right. Get prepared, I guess. Pushes down both handles and opens both doors up wide. Just like a grand entrance.
In front of you, it opens into an elongated subterranean hall, decorated throughout with finely wrought Pharasman symbols, which culminate in a 7-foot-high bas-relief of the goddess's face on the south wall. Against the other walls, whose surfaces are riddled with burial recesses, sit 7 sarcophagi, 4 sealed and 3 uncovered. You see, on top of one of the sealed sarcophagi on the other side of the room, there is a body, human body, dressed in the outfit and with the insignia of an Ustalavian royal accuser. As you approach and examine it, covered in stab wounds.
Jeez.
And surely must have been killed days ago. But he seems to be preserved, not unlike the zombies back over at Fort Hailstone. So he's been reposed magically.
What were the symbols that we saw? The religious symbols we saw, sorry?
Back out in the tapestry.
No, I thought you said Mobadai or something.
Oh, sorry. It's Pharasma. The symbols of Pharasma. And
Pharasma.
a giant bas relief of her face in the south wall.
Can you remind me what god that is? Or would you like to do a religion check?
No, that's fine, because you knew Winter. So...
I just reminded myself.
She's the Lady of Graves. So she's the goddess of sort of life after death, and is said to be the one that shepherds Galarion's recently departed souls to their final reward. That her followers are sort of vehement haters and hunters of the undead. They're said to be, which they believe are like abominations to Pharasma's will.
It's like a revenge bringing back to life thing. So, okay. So the other body's kind of on top of the sarcophagus? Like that's closed over? Or is it inside a sarcophagus?
No, so the body is here sitting on top of a sealed sarcophagus.
Oh, sitting on top of it. Jesus.
Yeah, laid out on the top of it. Sitting around it, some tools, but you notice as you approach, you see some strange tool sort of attached to this royal accuser's head, this woman, this pale-skinned woman. It appears to be two square brass-colored metal plates with rubber edges and screws at each corner that seem to tighten the plates like a clamp. The center of the top plate, at the center of it, is a fleshy tube that extends into a suction cup ringed with tiny teeth. Next to the base of a cube is what appears to be a small winding key, sort of sitting next to the royal accuser's head on the sarcophagus.
I've seen Hellraiser.
Just want to.
This is not good.
Is it lefty loosey, or is it righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? So if we turn it left, it won't do anything. I'm very tempted to just rip that thing out of that person's head.
I think we should try and extract it carefully.
It's not on her head, sitting next to her head.
Right.
Next to her head. Okay, so as if somebody is about to put it in, kind of thing, or is it like looks like it's been like pulled out already? I don't know. All right, well I'll go closer for an examination. Like feel for a pulse. Look over to see if there's any breathing or anything like that.
Roll medicine.
Double check that they're dead, and if there's any movement, I'm just gonna put my blade into it.
Most definitely dead. Looks like killed by multiple stab wounds.
I will slide the knife into its neck just to make sure.
Alright. Squelchy noise as the knife slides into the neck.
Alright, but I'm not sure what I achieved there, but I feel a little bit safer. I have a feeling this thing might come back.
I have a feeling they didn't want this thing being alive in the first place.
Well, they didn't want maybe the accuser to be alive, but they definitely wanted to bring it back for something. Some sort of ironic joke on their behalf. Seeming as a religion is all about getting rid of the dead. Or at least this place is. And yet, we've been seeing the other people rising from the dead. It might be worth checking the sarcophagi that are covered to see if they push them over and see if they're...
What, you want to open them up?
Well, if the other ones are empty, these ones are filled with bodies, then we know there's a process happening here. You know what I mean?
see if these things.
A reverse process, or are they putting bodies into them?
No, so they're collecting bodies down here to make them into the creatures that are protecting the fort, or were protecting the fort until everybody came in and wrecked shit, as the youth say.
Yes, this may be the factory as such.
Yes. I'll try and slide open one of the sarcophagi, if possible.
I don't think Eva would let you.
Okay. Well, I go over to push one, and then
As you walk around and look at the sarcophagi are all clearly marked with plaques on the side. As Hazelton Laos the third, Gordo Brigand Slayer Laos the second, Ulunda Laos, Zerilda Laos, Elistor Laos. And then there's two of the unmarked and two of the uncovered sarcophagi are unmarked.
So I'm interested about the unmarked ones. So I go over to push open one of the unmarked ones.
They're open already, empty.
Oh, sorry.
You just assume they're just unused sarcophagi.
Okay, ready to go.
What's
if someone
what's the
dies.
third one? The third one that's open that is marked. What's it say? Or is the name inconsequential?
It says Namira Laos.
Well, as much as I enjoy being in a crypt of some strange manner, I don't know if we're learning too much in here.
Well, there's a process happening here.
Yeah.
You know, there's something going on. Even if it is just bringing up more questions, that's something that we can query against. I couldn't tell much from the body. Heimlich, do you mind taking a better look at it? These instruments here are a bit confusing to me, and maybe your practice, you might have known a bit better.
Investigation.
I did a
roll a
medicine.
Heimlich, if you're what are you doing? Examining the device?
Mm-hmm.
Roll a knowledge. Roll an Arcana check.
You think? Hold up a second, guys.
Boom. 22.
Okay.
You keep going without me.
Heimlich, you pick up the device and have a look at it. You see, it's clearly designed to slip onto things head-sized.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that, the turning key is some sort of crank to activate it. As you give the key a turn, the device seems to emit some low hum. And sort of the little strange toothy suction cup like mouthpiece emits a sound similar to like static.
Just don't put it on.
I wasn't going to put it on. I've at least activated it, so...
Maybe we should try breaking it? I mean, having it around is in working condition surely is no benefit to us.
I'm not sure. There were more rooms in this outer corridor, weren't there, Josh?
There was a hallway that led off to the south.
Also, what's this at the end here? Oh,
That's
that's the
base.
bust.
Yeah,
The mask thing,
giant
yeah.
bas relief of Pharasma's face.
The bas relief, yeah. That's right.
Are we taking this contraption with us?
Yeah, I think... wouldn't want to leave it behind. Someone else may have seen it used for something else. Something, maybe? Some of the Sleepless Agency?
Hmm.
It looks like something of or not necessarily of arcane nature.
Oh, it's definitely arcane in nature.
That I was gonna say, but what does Aoife know? She's just a hunter.
Alright.
I don't know what to do with it, or with this information. Do we do something with the body?
What do you propose?
Well, I don't know. Like, if we're taking this little head device, do we move the body to make it look like the? I don't know.
What do we need to move the body for? I don't think he's moving anywhere on his own anytime soon.
Perhaps maybe they were trying to get it to move.
Hmm. Well, even then, I mean, is there a benefit for us moving it?
Probably not, actually. Anyway, I'm not sure. These other 3 sarcophagus, though, wasn't it 3 fellows that came after us in the city before?
All of them looked familiar, yes.
I know.
Oh,
I just think it's coincidence that it's three sarcophagus.
Heimlich, you take a second look at the heads, the strange contraption, and you notice a switch on the back that you didn't see in the first time. On one of the brass plates, a little toggle. Has two settings. One that points to a what appears to be a silhouette of a human head.
Uh-huh.
And the other setting points to a little engraving of a leaf, currently set on the human head one.
Ah, I see the problem. This one is set to evil, we should set it to good. And
oh, right, that's the problem.
I flick the switch, see if it does anything.
It doesn't do anything. You flick the switch, turn the crank, it does the same thing, emits a staticky noise.
Okay, well, do you think we should, try and put it on his head? We may be able to get some information if he does not kill us.
Yes.
Do we have rope and stuff? We could hog tie this specimen first.
The gentleman sitting on top of the sarcophagi.
Yeah.
It's a lady, isn't it? Is it a lady?
Oh, the lady. Sorry, yeah, that's right. It's a lady. It's Inquisitor.
Yeah, we could hog tie them first, just in case they try and attack us, so we can try and get some information if they.
So we're going to try and use the device that's next to them.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah, let's do this. Why don't we could possibly? There's still some lids from the sarcophagi around. We could put them inside, plug it in. If worst comes to worst, just close it. If we don't have rope.
Is this works for me?
Rope.
By the way, Scott, your face on the video has frozen, and you look very serious.
Excellent.
Oh,
look at that face. I would take a picture, but my sister's got the phone. My sister's got the phone. It's so good. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, parents. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, are we able to move the body? So, are these sarcophagi in the north? Are there lids still around, or are the lids nowhere to be seen?
Yeah, there's lids on the ground next to them.
Okay. Well, we could carry the body into one of those sarcophagi, get the lid primed and ready, and give it the thing, see what happens, and if it comes out, we'll push the sarcophagi lid on top of it, close the door, down the pub, you know, that thing.
That could work.
Sounds like another classic Gideon plan.
You know.
You know me.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I just, it's.
I'm not taking offense at all. It's just, yep, you know me.
Let's get that lead ready.
All right. All right. Well, then we'll prepare for that then. Don't know why I went Scottish with that last bit.
Wait, it's Scots.
We got
Alright, so let me get it straight. You're taking this corpse, putting it in a sarcophagus, putting the lid on the
Jacking it.
sarcophagus.
I just wanted to hog tie it.
No.
Like, that was it.
Oh.
It's like tied up so it can't move. Like, if it's like gonna flail around, like, what's gonna happen?
Alright, Heimlich, from what you've examined, this device isn't gonna make the body flail around.
Okay, sweet. All right, well, I put the device on and I flick the switch.
You put the device on the head and you spend a full minute turning the key with a rapid ticking sound each time you turn it before it finally can turn no further. You release it. The strange teeth-like suction cup bit begins to emit the staticky noise. You hear a woman's voice ring out, the strange teeth-like appendage speaking like a mouth as her voice rings out. Hello?
Hello, who is this?
I am High Inquisitor, High Accuser Omari.
What are you experiencing at the moment?
Darkness.
Right. Okay. See,
After that, she says that the static all of a sudden stops and the mouth goes limp.
Winding up again. Wind it.
Okay, I keep winding. Yep.
As you wind it, and the key begins to turn back like it usually does. There's no static noise this time.
Are you there?
You examine it,
Hello?
Heimlich, and you see it looks like it takes some time to recharge.
So this is like a device that speaks to the dead. That's fucking cool.
Yeah,
guess
definitely
we-
taking this.
Shouldn't break it.
Yes, we should definitely keep on with this. Wow. I'm personally stunned at the awesomeness of that. And
Really?
also the cruelty of killing someone and then just like forcing them to talk to you. Wow. That's definitely some Lovecraftian shit right there. Oof.
Should we perhaps
sorry.
lay her to rest? I accuser.
I suppose it depends. If she's a trapped soul, let's theorize. So there's a couple of options. Either we just disturbed her on her path to the afterlife, or wherever she believes that is, or whatever, to whatever god she believed in, or it could generally be her stuck in some sort of limbo of sorts. The only way for us, she's forced to stay there, and so us communicating with her is the only way that she can maybe somehow help us get her to the afterlife, or perhaps back to her body, but it's covered in, it's a corpse at this point, so I don't know if we should torture her by, trying to talk to her, give her hope. Or we should generally talk to her so that we can help her pass, because she's not coming back, or at least not in this body.
Well, I can't say I'm the religious type, so I may not be the
Neither.
best for this ethics quandary.
Neither. I'm a man of science.
We can always come back for the body later. Like, this is not something we have to worry about now.
She's not going anywhere. She's got nowhere to go by the sounds of it, so she could wait for us. It's fine. Even if we forget.
Perfect.
Yeah, right. Should we go south, down the other path? Should we take the device with us or leave it here? Probably take
we
it
should
with
take
us.
it with.
All right, we could tell you what. Next person that we murder, we'll give it a go. What's the worst
It's
that's
a bit
gonna happen?
morbid, but I thought we were supposed to be turning over a new leaf about things what we did, but
I don't even know what we've done, so I don't know if this is progress or what's the opposite of progress. Failure.
Regression.
Regression. Yes, I don't know if this is regression or progress, so we'll find out at some point.
I guess, yes.
I mean, honestly, I'm very curious about this. This is probably it's a bit morbid, yes, but it's very interesting. And if we have the opportunity to experiment on someone who has died because they tried to attack us, I'm okay with that.
Well, whatever you do, it turns my stomach, so just don't involve me with that.
I'll give you a heads up and you can leave the room.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Appreciate it.
Picks himself up with his shield, kind of holding it half limping, and heads down this hallway. That is such a cool device. I love that creepy, sinister kind of like, oh yeah, you died, but we're not going to let you go yet. We're going to find out information from you by being the only person you can talk to because you're stuck in this limbo. Oh, yeah, can you imagine that?
Pretty useful later.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, you're dead? Oh wow, you're stuck in limbo. We're the only people you can talk to, so you might as well spill your guts, because we'll just stop talking to you. Like,
And
it
we've already
actually...
spilled your guts, so...
Yeah, well, it reminds me of that episode of Black Mirror where they have the girl who's died who becomes the AI for the household. And they're like, oh no, I don't want to do this. Okay, well, we'll talk to you in several months. And they basically fast forward how she lives for 4 months inside this VR... Not VR, inside this, like, room she lives in for 4 months where there's nothing to do. And it's like, are you ready to talk to us and to comply? And she's like, yes, no, I am. She was stuck in that room for 4 months with nothing. It's like, whoa, that's what I'm imagining. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
As you creep down the southern hallway, you open the first door. It opens onto a small cell with nothing inside but 2 heavy wooden pallets with manacles to restrain prisoners.
Interesting.
You open the southernmost door. It opens into a wine cellar with both old and dusty wine and clean, expensive-looking wine.
Clean, expensive. Yeah, nice.
Yep, I take some of the clearly expensive wine.
Just the thing, though, guys. She's the evidence that the fort in this place is linked. Because her dead body is here. And we found her badge at the fort. So we have the evidence now to give the investigators.
Well, we need the badge at least, surely, right? Like that'll.
We have the badge.
We got the badge.
Yeah.
We have the badge. We said we found that at the fort. So now we found her here. That links the 2 locations together.
Well, if we have to take the body somewhere else, this is going to be a problem.
Well, we just throw it over the hedge. We'll be fine. No?
I mean, can you lift the body 10 feet?
If you could
No, I can't.
yeet a body 10 feet over a hedge.
What we could do is attach a rope to her. Throw the rope over the hedge, jump over the hedge, or get over the hedge, grab the rope, and we're running in the direction with 4 of us. That will pull her over the top. And we'll just say the wounds were consistent with how we found her.
I mean, it is very obvious. If post-mortem wounds are formed, you should know this.
We found her with those post-mortem wounds. We'll pull out the twigs and thistles and stuff, don't worry. From the tree. And the dirt and stuff. We could just say we had to get her out of there in a hurry. If worst comes to worst, I'm just saying. Or we could drop her in the aqueduct and ride her down to the shoreline.
As he's talking, I uncork a bottle of wine and start drinking.
Is it any good?
That's...
And I'll open up this door that's here.
The bottle says it's from Laundus.
Ooh. What?
You open the door. It opens to a short stairwell. As you climb the stairs, it leads up to a trapdoor. As you push on it, there's a small amount of weight on top, but it opens up with a... Looks like there's a rug placed on top of the trapdoor, and it opens up into the library that you were in earlier.
Oh, fantastic. Yes. Well...
Well, if you think we have the evidence with the body and we have this tool to communicate, we could consider taking it back up through the kitchen, perhaps?
Yes, but I'm still very morbidly interested in that woman in the attic.
Well, if she is tied down, I don't think she's going anywhere. And we know we don't have any fish heads.
That's a good point. We'll bring her fish heads. She'll be more than likely to talk to us after a few days of starvation.
Or we could kill her and use the box.
That's my kind of character, that is. I like that. But no. She seems like she's,
Evil?
It's hard. Part of me thinks that the family have tied her up because she is a detriment to the family. Like, if she's able to project her mind and her body, or form even, beyond into the town, then maybe she is more powerful with her hands and body complete. So maybe the family locked her upstairs, fed her fish heads for some reason, just as a cool joke, being the only thing that she could eat. Because she seemed quite happy to be up there and being fed the fish heads. Like, not contempt in her situation, but more content with, well, this is all I'm eating for the rest of my days. But she seems like a very powerful, maybe some sort of, I want to say oracle, or maybe even a cleric of good, or some
would you
sort of witch.
What? Yes.
Sorry, what was that?
You would hazard the word witch, would you?
Yeah, witch, yeah, some sort of magic user of some kind that maybe the family's embarrassed about, or maybe she was, just like family dinner table going, you're going to die at this point, and they're like, well, that's Christmas dinner ruined, that kind of thing. So they locked her upstairs so they wouldn't hear it anymore.
Or they could have revived the Briarstone witch.
What do you think that she is? Ooh, she could be the Briarstone witch.
Or the Thrushmore witch, whatever they call it here.
The Thrush witch.
Wasn't the name on that sarcophagus a female one? The open one?
Ooh. Yes.
And
what was that name?
Wasn't Mr. Hazelton, wasn't he looking for the Necronomicon?
What was the name that was on that sarcophagus?
Namir allows.
I think we should go up there and just ask if Namura is there. And if she answers yes, or no, she's dead, then I think that answers the question.
Sure.
I think that's...
But should we try and do that now or after?
I mean...
After work.
We're here.
What are we doing? Yeah, Miz.
Moving the body.
Well.
Okay.
Not the body. We'll leave that body downstairs. We'll go upstairs, ask, hey, are you Namira? And she goes yes or no, and then we'll just walk downstairs. Because if it is Namira, then we know don't fuck with that shit. Bruh. And if it is something, if she goes no, then it's another question for another time. It's just an easy question that we can get answered quickly.
I think we should at least bring some food if we are going to return to her.
Well, don't you still have the seahorse head?
I mean, I left it back in the kitchen.
Oh shit. Well, we could grab some of those. We've got wine. We can give her wine. That's a balanced diet, isn't it? It's basically a fruit salad.
Well, I don't see too much of a detour to return back to the kitchen.
All right, we'll go get the human insides and the seahorse head. Did we sort it up properly? All right, yeah. All right, that's what we do.
As you
Take up
emerge
some wine.
into the library, you glance out the library windows. Out on the ground, there seems to be a lot of movement. Pouring away from the kitchen, it seems the massacre you committed in the kitchen has been discovered. You see Kuru thugs.
I forgot we were sneaking around.
You see Kuru thugs moving around the ground, as well as several of the noble-like dressed cultists coming towards the manor to investigate.
Quick, take photos on our iPhones and we'll go.
Yes, I think it's time to leave. I don't think we have time to talk to the old hag.
No, I think we've got enough of what we need.
We need to take the body.
Oh, yeah. Hold up, I'll see if I've got a spell for that. No.
I'm going to gesture to Balthus and rush back down and collect the body.
I'll follow ahead.
I've got my shield and sword out, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Yeah, I don't have any spells that'll help with.
6. Right, well, I'm still not feeling the best, but you know.
So what are you doing? You're grabbing the body and
We want to
making a
grab the
dash for
body.
it?
Yeah, should we go to the stable and try and get back into the aqueduct?
It's right next to the kitchens. Why don't
Well,
we try
if
and
we're
go
going-
down the well down in the basement?
But we don't know where that one goes. And it
We
sounds
do.
like there's water there. We need to swim, and I'm not a very good swimmer. Plus, I'm wearing armor, so I think I'm gonna sink.
All right, well, fuck the body. Let's just leave.
Fuck the body.
No, not literally.
Let's
just
leave.
No, I didn't mean it literally either. I just
If we leave the body, though, we don't have the evidence.
It's. Do you really think they're not gonna believe us?
we'll cut
We've
our
got
head
the
off.
evidence.
Put it
No.
in a bag.
Let's not do that. I think we can perhaps,
Cut a finger off.
maybe if we hide upstairs, perhaps in the attic with Miss Tentacle.
Are you sure she won't like scream bloody murder all night?
Well, I mean, she only noticed us as soon as we got a certain distance. Perhaps we can be very sneaky and take our time, rest, and escape after.
We could hide in the sarcophagi. Why not? If we
I
hide,
think-
there's four of their dead family members. They're not going to open them up. We could easily hide in there. There's 4 of us. There's 4 dead family members.
I don't
Just
know.
have a
I think-
sleep. And
I think
it will
I'd
be
rather
uncomfortable.
just go up to the attic and do it that way. Not comfortable sleeping with dead people.
We could just rest in the room without going into the sarcophagus.
But the only issue is because she's there, and the device is attached to her. We'll have to leave the device behind as well, I think. Otherwise,
we
it'll get
can-
suspicious.
Didn't we take the device?
Yeah,
we did.
I'm just saying that we can leave. We can go back and leave the device there, because otherwise it might be suspicious if they come down there and she doesn't
I
have
mean,
the device
there's a
next to
massacre
her.
of 4 boys.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
But if we
If
go
we're
missing,
not
okay,
doing
this is
anything
the
else.
other point as well. If we go missing and we've gone to the manor, they might throw the militia at the manor anyway to say, "Hey,
Which is fine.
you know." But that's what I'm saying. Like they may just come into the manor because they know we've gone into the manor, and if we don't return, they'll be like, "Oh fuck, something went down at the manor."
Well, we can at least bring the body into the attic with us and then take it from there after we have a short rest.
Yeah, she can have a snack on it if she wants. Oh wait, no, I still have pockets full of venison.
Excellent.
All right, sorry, I forgot. I put my hands in my pockets to think, and I go, "Oh no, sorry guys, I've got venison in my pocket. We can give that to her. That'll be fine.
All right.
And we'll take the
well, let's
body
go.
upstairs. All right. I'm not very good at. I'm a very weak man. Who do you mind doing the heavy lifting, Aether?
Aether didn't even bother asking you.
Thank you. Sorry. You know, it's my old knees. This is a day shy of 27.
Right, so we're back to carrying the body up
I'm carrying the body
Apparently.
up to the attic.
up to the attic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have
So
a feeling we're making our final stand at this point.
which way are you going?
Oh,
If we go directly above, like, so it's just, we have like a direct line of stairwells to the attic from
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So you go back up to the library. You see the commotion still going on outside. You hear the doors of the foyer where all the curios are opening and people coming into the manor.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right.
Yeah.
Dragging this
At
body
this
up
point-
to.
All of a sudden, there's a rumble.
Oh.
At first, you're not sure what it is as it gets louder and all turns into a proper seismic tremor.
Hmm.
You see a bright
That's you.
yellow light emitting through the window from out on the grounds, and as you look out, a column of yellow light projecting up and out of the well in the center of the grounds. as the tremor begins to worsen, you see the world collapse. And then the ground around the world begin to give way as though a large sinkhole collapsing in the center. There is a crack of thunder as a yellow arc of electricity emits this seismic chaos and up into the sky. And then you see behind it 2 more crackles of yellow electricity arcing into the sky in the distance from the direction of town.
Yep.
And we will leave it there till next week.
Oh. I'm getting visions of like, yeah, that thing that we examined. What was it, like a teleportation magic or some kind of magic we found on it? Or no, not whatever it was, what's alteration magic or whatever it's called. I forget what it is. But that tower, can Gideon make the assumption that the lightning came from there?
Probably. Well, yeah. You see two columns of light coming from town.
Yeah. Okay.
I am 100% chugging my fucking bottle of wine.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about it, and it was like some sort of teleportation magic or some type of magic that was used in using teleportation. So we could be opening up they could be opening up a portal right now. That's what I'm thinking. Like a portal from another plane is being opened so that eldritch creatures can come out. And they might have fish heads.